must have feeling, dance, dance everybody.
भंगड़े दी क्वीन मैं ता थोड़ी सो हसीन मैं ता मेरी है गजब गलबा फिगर है का कैंट मेरा ठुमका एक्सीलेंट मेरा ग्रूवी ग्रूवी हो जा मेरे साथ भंगड़े दी क्वीन मैं ता थोड़ी सो हसीन मैं ता मेरी है गजब गलबा फिगर है का कैंट मेरा ठुमका एक्सीलेंट मेरा ग्रूवी ग्रूवी हो जा मेरे साथ
नचांगे सारी रात सोनियो वे नचांगे सारी रात सोनियो वे कर लो थोड़ा सा प्यार सोनियो वे कर लो थोड़ा सा प्यार नचांगे सारी रात सोनियो वे नचांगे सारी रात सोनियो वे कर लो थोड़ा सा प्यार सोनियो वे कर लो थोड़ा सा प्यार
झांझरा दा साउंड ते हिलदा ग्राउंड मैं छम छम नचदी फिरा अख मेरी टाइट जावा मैं लेफ्ट राइट के मुंडिया तो बचदी फिरा
मुंडा होगा वो तो लकी जिसके लिए तूने रखी अपने ये आंखों की शराब दिल मेरा ठीक है इश्क च वीक है कर दे तू इसको खराब
नचंगे सारी रात सोने वे नचंगे सारी रात सोने वे कर लो थोड़ा सा प्यार सोने वे कर लो थोड़ा सा प्यार
दारू भर लो मर्दों में पहाड़ियों में पब्बों में बीट बजे जब मीतों की सब झूम उठेंगे क्लबों में दारू भर लो मर्दों में पहाड़ियों में पब्बों में बीट बजे जब मीतों की सब झूम उठेंगे क्लबों में
Dance, dance everybody, getting hot in the party. Come on, start feeling, dance, dance everybody. Dance, dance everybody, getting hot in the party. Come on, start feeling, dance, dance everybody.
कुड़िए तू फाइन अब दे दे मुझे लाइन मैं तेरे नाल जचदा बड़ा बचदा है बैंड तू दे दे मुझे हैंड फ्लोर पे मैं कब से खड़ा
ना जिद very much करी मुझको ना टच करी कर लो कंट्रोल जज्बा फिर भी जो ना माने दिल करता चाहे तुझको किल थाम ले तू आके मेरा हाथ
Stay up all night, सोनियो वे, I'ma stay up all night, सोनियो वे,
खर्चा रे है जमा इश्क दा भरता रे ओ मुन्नी दे तुझ में पूरी बोतल का नशा तुझ में पूरी बोतल का नशा धरते बुढ़ापे को कर दे जवान होठों पे काली तेरी आंखें तो डाली होठों पे काली तेरी आंखें तो डाली देते हैं जिया एटम बम हुई डार्लिंग मेरे लिए मुन्नी बदनाम हुई डार्लिंग मेरे लिए मुन्नी बदनाम हुई डार्लिंग मेरे लिए
कैसे अनाड़ी से पाला पड़ा जी पाला पड़ा हो कैसे अनाड़ी से पाला पड़ा जी पाला पड़ा बिना रुपये के आके खड़ा मेरे पीछे पड़ा पोपट ना जाने मेरे पीछे वो साबू पोपट ना जाने मेरे पीछे साबू से लेके लंबू पड़ा आइटम ये आम हुई डार्लिंग तेरे लिए आइटम ये आम हुई डार्लिंग तेरे लिए मुन्नी बदनाम हुई डार्लिंग तेरे लिए मुन्नी बदनाम हुई डार्लिंग तेरे लिए मुन्नी बदनाम हुई डार्लिंग तेरे लिए
I've had enough of this nonsense. You two out.
No, Jake, I've had enough of your bullying. Go!
గుండెల తిరిపోయేలా ఢండన కరమోగినట్టు సెగులు సిల్లు పడేలాగా కీసు పిట్ట కూసినట్టు ఏలు సిటికెలేసేలా ఎవ్వారం సాగినట్టు కాలు సింధు తొక్కేలా దుమ్మారం రేగినట్టు ఒళ్ళు చెమట పట్టేలా వీరంగం చేసినట్టు నా పాట చూడు నా పాట చూడు నా పాట చూడు నాటు 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 వీల నాటు 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 పూల నాటు 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 గంట పారలాగా చెట్ట నాటు 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 కపోతలాగా దిక్క నాటు భూమి దత్తరిల్లేలా ఒంటిలోని రగతమంత రక్కలేసి ఎగిరేలా ఎసే రోయకాయకి నాటు నాటు నాటు
అరే దుమ్ము దుమ్ము దులిపేలా లోపలున్న పానమంతా డుముకు డుముకులాడేలా దూకేరో సరాసరి నాటు 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 ना देखा नाका ना गिना देखा चिकनी चमेली देखी चिकना कमीना देखा चांदनी ची डर होके चीट किया तो सारे तारे बोले गिली गिली अक्खा मेरी बात तेरी बात ज्यादा बातें बुरी बात थाली में कटोरा लेकर आलू भात मूरी भात मेरे भी जो किसी ने रिपीट किया तो साला मैंने तेरे मुंह पे मारा मुक्का इस पे भूत कोई चढ़ा है ठहरना जानना अब तो क्या बुरा क्या भला है फर्क पहचानना जिद पकड़ के खड़ा है कम वक्त छोड़ना जानना बदतमीज दिल माने ना बदतमीज दिल माने ना ये जो हाल है सवाल है कमाल है जाने ना बदतमीज दिल माने ना हवा ना देखा ढिमका वाला ना देखा सीन का सिंगाला खा के शेर का गुरा ना देखा पूरी दुनिया का गोल गोल चक्कर लेके मैंने दुनिया को मारा धक्का बॉलीवुड हॉलीवुड वेरी वेरी जॉली गुड राय के पहाड़ पर 3 फुटा लीली फुट मेरे पीछे किसी ने रिपीट किया तो साला मैंने तेरे मुंह पे मारा मुक्का अय्याशी के मनवे से खुद को मोड़ना जानना कंबल बेवजह ये शर्म का ओढ़ना जानना जिद पकड़ के खड़ा है कम वक्त छोड़ना जानना बदतमीज दिल माने ना बदतमीज दिल माने ना
आज सारे चांद तारे बन गए हैं डिस्को लाइट चल के बुझा के हमको बुला के कह रहे हैं पार्टी ऑल नाइट
नाता बेतुकी दिल लगी से तोड़ना जानना आने वाले कल की फिक्र से जोड़ना जानना जिद पकड़ के खड़ा है कम वक्त छोड़ना जानना बदतमीज दिल माने ना बदतमीज दिल माने ना
Good morning. Is everybody here? Confirmation? Yeah, the silent claps. Amazing. Brilliant. Yes. Can I request everybody to please switch on the cameras? Slowly, everybody is coming on screen. Perfect. There's still a few yet to switch on their cameras. All right. Once again, guys, good morning. Amazing. It's a very nice view, no? Looking at everybody charged up at 10 p.m. India time in the night. Brilliant. Does everybody know why we say good morning? Matlab, it's weird, no? I'm not in US right now. I'm in India only, but we say good morning. Do we know why we say good morning? No? Yes? Number one, because good morning, we are the freshest in the morning. And the idea is to grow our business in every corner of the world. जहां पे हम सो रहे हैं ना, तभी भी कहीं पे business चल रहा है. Somewhere or the other, the business is happening, right? So that's why we say good morning. Okay? So guys, before we get started off, few ground rules so that we can make this module very, very effective. And the first ground rule is to empty our cup, right? So what is emptying our cup? Basically, it's a Monday. I'm sure everybody had a long day, the Monday blues and everything. But for any new learning to get inside our mind, it's very important to first empty our mind. Correct? If there are existing thoughts that are already there, right? The new learnings are not going to come in. So just take, very quickly, take a couple of deep breaths and bring the entire focus over here. Office mein whatever happened, business mein whatever happened, India Australia final day test match whatever happened, it was a flat wicket, anything and everything, just empty it out, right? If somebody is still hungry, have not had their dinner, please empty that thought process also, and let's be present over here. It's very, very, very important, because the next 1.5 2 hours is going to be life changing, right? Trust me on that, it's going to be life changing. So the entire focus needs to be over here. Okay, done. Do I have a confirmation? Everybody's present here, everybody switched on, everybody over here. Perfect, perfect. A couple of other things, guys, which is going to help make this module really, really effective is, number one, I hope everybody has a notebook and a pen with you. If not, please quickly run, get one notebook, get one pen, and have it next to you. Take down a little bit of notes, because these points that are going to be discussed today are going to come very, very much in handy. Trust me, right? Yes, confirmation, you have your process books next to you. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Third point, it might be dinner time for a few people, but please avoid any kind of food items being there, right? Can have a bottle of water or a glass of water next to you in case you're feeling thirsty, and have a sip, but no eating during this, right? And I'm sure that we have a lot of people attending this module for the first time. Yes, show of hands. पहली बार सोच रहे हो, पहली बार सुन रहे हो, पहली बार attend कर रहे हो. Great. So guys, very, very important. The next ground rule is to have the videos on. Correct? Now, why do the videos need to be on? Is because when the camera is on, even we know that we are switched on, we are on camera. When the camera is off, immediately the mind gets diverted. It starts thinking about other things. And this module, we cannot afford any kind of distractions. So I request you, please be on cameras. Don't go off cameras. Don't roam around. Have a good internet connectivity. If you're connected via laptop, have a good Wi-Fi. Have the laptop plugged in, so that you suddenly don't run out of charge. Because ek baar nikal gaye to wapas aana again, you might miss out on a few things. Make sure everything is ready for the next 1.5 2 hours, because this can be potentially life-changing. Our extended organs, mobile phones, right? Please put them on switched off, do not disturb mode. Silent mode only if you're a doctor, right? If you're a doctor, be on silent mode. You might expect some critical calls. If not, everybody, please do not disturb mode, minimum, right? Because trust me, this process, what is going to happen, right? The kind of paradigm shift that is going to happen in the mind is going to be absolutely fantastic, right? Everybody, all the ground rules set, everybody ready, focused, excited? Brilliant. So guys, today's module is called Why Network Marketing, right? Personally, it's one of my most favorite module, because the kind of clarity that is gonna come in by the end of this module, a lot of stereotypes is something that's going to be broken. It's a very, very important module for us to internally have the shift to, look at the business in another level altogether. And I cannot think of anybody better to take this module. So I'm not the speaker for today. The speaker is somebody who's very, very, very special to me. So let me share a few things about the speaker. A little bit about this person's corporate avatar. Has a very rich corporate experience, right? So when I say rich corporate experience, actual mein rich wala corporate experience, not just, having 15 years, 20 years, rich corporate experience. Started his career with hospitality, then did his MBA and entered the banking industry. And in banking, worked with corporate giants in the industry, like Citibank and Standard Chartered for 13 years. And in his last role, worked with a company which I think every banker would have it as a dream company to work as, called Barclays, right? Personally, I knew about Barclays because it was always the Barclays English Premier League, right? So like Barclays. So when Barclays entered India, he was headhunted to head the credit cards product head. So he was the vertical head for the credit cards division business for Barclays Pan India. That was his last corporate role, guys. National head role. So obviously, the kind of exposure, the kind of success that he's seen in corporate was another level altogether. And it's always said now, the way we do one thing is the way we start doing everything. When the business came this gentleman's way, without any other second thought, saw a bigger picture and just started the business, right? When I saw the business, I thought, acha, chalo, I put a little money, maybe double, maybe triple is something that will happen. I saw 3 units on the left, 3 units on the right, like most of us. But this person saw the bigger picture. This person saw leverage. This person probably saw what a 3%er sees. And now more than 10 years, 10 साल से ज़्यादा इस industry में, sorry, इस business में, has been successfully building markets not only in India. आप ना globe निकालो, धरती globe का ऐसे, you take a dart and hit it on any part of the globe, you'll find markets of this gentleman over there. Has built major areas not only in India but all across the world, right? And if I'm being very, very, very honest, today this person is my rich dad. This person, I believe, does not need to work for money, has already cleared all the milestones, has been there, done that, you know, walked the talk, led by example, 100, 200, 500, 1000%. This person has been there and done that. But today, this person is still here training us only because he decided कि यार मुझे जितना benefit हुआ है इस business से, I'm going to ensure anybody who has started this business with us, उनके dreams भी fulfill करते हैं, उनको भी उतना ही clarity देते हैं. And I believe that is why he's here today. There's no other reason. Money is no longer a reason for him to do the business, right? And despite seeing so much success, the value system, the ethics that this person carries is what has built a lot of leaders in India and abroad. The work ethic that this person has, nothing like it. क्योंकि इनके साथ ना काम नहीं लगता, मजा ज्यादा लगता है, right? He's an ocean full of knowledge. The experience, the exposure, guys. So all I'm trying to say is for the next 1.5, 2 hours, right? It's not just a 1.5 hour 2 module that is happening. For the next 1.5, 2 hours, a 10 years plus worth of experience is going to come and talk to you, right? So it is up to each and every one of us how much we absorb out of this experience that is talking to us, right? Because agar iska 5% bhi hum absorb kar lena, even 5% of this we are able to absorb, our business is going to take off at, you know, like rocket speed. I have absolutely no doubt about that. So I hope everybody is ready and everybody is going to give a brilliant, energetic, live and dhamakedar entry to our speaker of the day. None other than Mr. Manish Kumar.
Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing? Okay, I'm aware that you cannot unmute yourself. So, but we can still communicate, sign language, right? So if you're excited, give me a thumbs up. How many of you are really excited? Okay, I can see some people are really excited. Some of you look a little confused. You know, why am I attending a training at this time of the night? Right? How many of you not accustomed to attending trainings at this time? Okay, first of all, everyone okay with English and Hindi both? Perfect. So some of you are not accustomed to attending meetings at this time, right? Trainings. Welcome to the business. You all attended the welcome session, right? This journey is all about change. There's change at every step to move from point A to point B. So one of the changes, need to fight sleep, keep awake a little more. Yeah. Okay, so like I was saying, some of you genuinely look excited. Some of you look very, very... so people who look a little confused, probably your hot zones. You know what a hot zone is? So a hot zone is someone, you did not even go through the business. You have no idea probably what the business is. It's still someone very close to you signed up in this business and didn't give you an option. मैं कर रहा हूँ, तुमको तो करना ही है. So you had no option, but you signed up. So probably you look a little, confused right now. And the people who are excited, I'm guessing all of you had reasons. You were probably either proactively looking for a business, or even if not proactively looking, you were open to evaluating a business. And when this business came your way, you went through it, and you felt probably this could be it, which could take you to your dreams. And you took that call, and today you're here, right? So everyone has their own reason for being here. Now, let me start by telling you, thank you, Junaid, so much for this introduction. In fact, I was confused. Who are you talking about? I think you made me seem a little larger than life. So guys, don't listen to everything he said. So let me tell you a little about how I started this business. So for me, this was more by default than by design. So I wasn't proactively looking for a business. In fact, I wasn't even open to exploring a business opportunity. I come from a middle class, salaried background, small town. And the value systems that I've grown up with, पढ़ाई करो, right? एक अच्छी नौकरी करो, मेहनत करो, promotion लो. So never look beyond a salaried life, And the person who actually referred me into this business was someone who I had hired in Barclays. So he was reporting into me, and while he was reporting into me, we were very good friends. अच्छा work culture था हमारा. We would work hard during the day, and after the sunset, we would have glasses of fermented juice together, for us. So we were good friends, and he the day he signed up, he started QNet. He was obviously very excited, and he came to office. And incidentally, I was the first person he spoke to. He said, "Boss, एक brilliant business opportunity है. आप और मैं मिलके बहुत पैसा कमाएंगे." So I said, "Really? क्या है business?" First mistake he made, which I think everyone makes in this business. He just gave me too much of information. उसने 8-10 लाइन में समझाने की कोशिश की कि ये business क्या है, क्या लगता है, कितना समझ में आया होगा. All I understood was it's network marketing, right? And I said, "Look, Anand, I am not interested," right? So he said, "Boss, आप समझ नहीं रहे हो. ये गलत, मतलब ये अलग है. Everything is on the e-commerce platform. You don't have to stock products." I said, "Look, whatever it is, I'm not interested," right? And he tried, pushing me beach mein. One day I remember I got very upset with him. And I said, "Look, appraisal is round the corner. Don't push your luck," right? So that's where it ended. He stopped. He says, "Okay, I'm sorry." And he backed off. उसके बाद कोई discussion नहीं इसके बारे में. But while I personally was not interested, I never discouraged him. I come from a sales and distribution background, product towards the end of my career, but primarily. So I understood network marketing is a genuine distribution model. But my perception was कि बहुत मेहनत है और उस हिसाब से पैसा बनता नहीं है. And network marketing मतलब साबुन, तेल, शैम्पू, ढेर सारा प्रोडक्ट स्टॉक करो, घर पे जो मिले उसको बेचो. So somewhere I personally did not see it working for me, right? But I said, तुमको करना है, you do it. I have no issues. I said, just don't do anything during office hours. Just promise me that much. उसके बाद तुमको जो करना है करो. Weekends. So with that understanding, he started doing it. And since I was very supportive, he would keep updating me also. कि boss, अब मेरा ये चल रहा है, मेरा team size इतना हो गया. I started this market. So I was fairly clued on to what was happening in his life, right? अब ये चलते 9 महीने बीत गए. And his business was doing well. And I live in Mumbai. How many of you from Mumbai? Oh, only a few Mumbaikers. Okay. So I used to live in Bandra, and I bumped into him somewhere near my house. And he said, "Arey boss, aap yahan ho?" And my senior business partner is in the coffee shop next door. "No, why didn't you come and meet her?" So I said, "फिर वही बात." He said, नहीं, मैं आपको join करने के लिए नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. All I'm saying is come and meet her and understand what I do. And if nothing, just give me a few tips on how to do it better. So very smartly, he did some ego massage. And I said, "Okay, fair enough." And that's how I ended up seeing the plan. All of you went through the model. You understood the concept. And then some people are requesting for some Hindi also. So I'll mix it, Hindi, English, both, right? So you went through the concept. फिर आपने फाइनेंशियल मॉडल देखा, and then you took a decision, right? So even I went, and I was very attentive. मैं उसको ढंग से समझ रहा था, because in my head मुझे अच्छी तरह समझना था ताकि मैं उसको टिप्स दे सकूं on how to do it better, right? So I was like fairly clued on to what was being said. I was asking the right questions, and guess what? When I went through the concept, I realized that this is very different from what I thought it would be. मेरा जो परसेप्शन था नेटवर्क मार्केटिंग को लेके कि साबुन, तेल, शैम्पू, ढेर सारे प्रोडक्ट स्टॉक करने हैं, जो मिले उसको बेच दो एंड पुश दोस पीपल टू सेल फर्दर एंड ऑल दैट. आई सेड दिस इज वेरी डिफरेंट एंड आई लाइक्ड इट, and that ESBI itself hit me, the concept of leverage, and then came the financial model, and that was the game changer. See, being a banker, now an ex-banker, that time I was a banker, I'm good with numbers, right? And while the financial model was happening, I was doing the calculations parallelly in my head, and at every stage. And by the end of it, I was completely sold, And Anand, as soon as the plan got over, the financial model got over, he asked me, boss, kaisa laga? I said, yeah, it's brilliant. I think it's great. So very conveniently, he says, start karen. And by then I had forgotten why I was there, right? I was there to help him, right? And I almost said yes. But again, being a banker, I had to do a due diligence, right? Before taking a decision. Can't just randomly jump to decisions. So I said, on the face of it, I liked everything. Sounds good. But बहुत ज़्यादा information दे दिया तुम्हारे partner ने आज मुझे. I need some time to process all that information. I need to do some fact finding at my own end. But yeah, if everything is actually in accordance with whatever your partners told me, there's no reason why I should not be part of the business. It makes sense, right? अब ये बोल के मैं घर चला गया. And I said, कल सुबह तक मैं बता दूंगा. And you know what? I did not sleep that night. How many of you did not sleep the night you saw the plan? Very good. That's a very good sign. Na? मतलब पहले तो I'll tell you what was going on in my mind. I was excited. I liked everything, right? But at the same time, बहुत सारे सवाल थे. अरे सच में होता है क्या? Can you actually make that kind of money? Is it even possible? Right? So I said, वो एक चुल आ गई थी. मुझे पहले research करना. I need to find out more. Starting with the financial model itself. How many of you, when you saw the model, your question was, how is it even possible? How can the company pay whatever X% over infinite levels to everyone and not go bust? Right? Logic मुझे समझ में आ गया था, plan में वो समझा दिया था, liquidity model दिखा दी थी, but I said नहीं, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. It's too good to be true, right? So that's the first thing I researched. That night I kept doing my research. Excel sheet खोला मैंने. See, part of my job as a product head, and cards is a very complex banking product. So I had created fairly complex financial models. This was much simpler. Time laga thoda usko. I replicated that model on an Excel sheet. And I spent 2-2.5 घंटे लगे मुझे to, keep doing various iterations to that, take it over infinite levels. And at the end of the day, I got the same result. I realized कि कुछ भी हो जाए, the maximum payout cannot exceed 57% of the revenue. So I said, चलो, sustainable. And then उसके बाद थोड़ा I felt a little stupid because 13 साल हो चुके थे कंपनी को. After 13 years, you can't question the fundamentals on which a company is based. नहीं तो 13 साल चांस ही नहीं है कि चलता. 3-4 साल में खत्म हो जाता. But anyway, अब खुद कर लिया था, तो conviction थोड़ा और बढ़ गया था. And then I started studying the industry because तब तक basic idea था network marketing को लेके, कुछ ज़्यादा information नहीं था, कैसे start हुआ, क्या है, कैसा चल रहा है. So I started looking for data. How did it originate? How has it been progressing? Different markets में, कहाँ legality, acceptance in different markets, percentage penetration, future forecast, expert opinion. So I kept looking for more and more information. And the more information I got, guess what? The more excited I was. And by the end of it, ये करते-करते सुबह 4 बज गए थे. I decided कि हाँ, I'm starting. Right? उसके बाद तो नींद आने का सवाल ही नहीं है. You know what I did after that? I started planning my organization. अपने लेफ्ट पे इसको लाऊंगा, राइट पे इसको, उसके नीचे इसको, उसके नीचे इसको. तो दिमाग में ही मेरा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बन गया था. ये अलग बात है कि most of those people did not sign up, but हाँ, उस समय. And ये करते-करते सुबह हो गई. Took a shower, got ready, went to office, cancelled my first meeting, called Anand to my cabin. I said, "Chalo, let's start." And that's how I started the business. Now, most of you have just started. And I know the feeling. while you're excited because you've seen an opportunity which you feel can take you to your dreams. But at the same time, बहुत सवाल भी है, छोटे छोटे, right? सच में चलता है क्या? Is it even possible to make this kind of money? What are the risks? What are the challenges? क्या होने वाला है? Right? Legal, So today, over the next 1.5 to 2 hours, let's say, my job is to try and, share with you my learnings, starting with that night when I was doing that research and my learning subsequently when I started the business, and probably give you adequate information, which I feel is required for you at this stage, right? And hopefully by the end of it, some of you will be a little more convinced about the model, more confident about this decision of having started this journey, right? Now, as Junaid was saying, this is an important module, right? Because see, I believe कोई भी किसी भी चीज में अगर excel करना हो ना, if you really want to do well, you need to believe in it. अंदर से वो conviction चाहिए, right? And to get that conviction, first you need more and more information. You need to understand what you're doing better, right? So the next 2 hours is critical, and to ensure that you're awake, can I have a confirmation from everyone that you will keep your videos on? Right. Well, this is basic. Video off करने के में I'll tell you what I've been there, so I know. Video off करके ना, पहले video on करके ऐसे बैठे होते हैं, फिर जैसे ही off करते हैं ना, फिर ऐसे posture, and after some time कहाँ चले गए समझ में नहीं आता. ये होता है. Also, as a speaker, if I am talking to you and if I see half the windows are, the videos are off, I lose interest. As a speaker, you would lose interest if you're talking and half the windows are off, right? So basic courtesy. Can I have a confirmation? Everyone's going to keep their video switched on. Perfect. Also, some of you video on ke saath bhi, I know some of you are experts at sleeping with your eyes open. I know that because I've done that in college. I could sit on the first bench and take a nap with my eyes wide open. So just to ensure that you're awake, suddenly beach mein I'll say, are you awake? And when you hear that, you need to wave. Deal? And if there is a delay in response, then I know you're not awake. Then I have to wake you up, right? Shall we try this once? Are you awake? Okay, so far everyone except for Mr. Deepak Sharma, you took a lot of time to respond. Deepak, wake up. Okay. Chalo, start karte. Now let's. So before I come to network marketing, let me take one step back. Let me ask you a very simple, basic question. Can anyone tell me in simple language, what is a business? Koi bhi business, ek minute, I know you are muted. Let me unmute you. But keep yourself unmuted. When you want to answer, keep yourself muted. When you want to answer something, unmute, answer, and then go back on mute, right? Otherwise disturbance hota hai. So now you can unmute yourself. So the question is, what is a business? Koi bata sakta hai simple language mein? When I started the business, mere appliance se ek mujhe badi achhi cheez boli thi, which I've always remembered. They said, when asked a question, people who tend to answer first are very likely to do very well in this business, right? So let me repeat my question. What is a business?
Sale of goods and products in exchange of money.
Chalo, great, Supriya. So sale of goods and products in exchange of money. Karthik, you also want to say something?
Yeah. Yes, exchange of products and service in terms of money.
Okay, perfect. So in simple language, both of you are right, absolutely. Any businesses, एक product या service किसी को लाना, to the customer in exchange for money, right? Objective is to make a profit in between, right? That is as simple as what a business is. अब सवाल है कि how do you bring that product or service to the customer, right? So let me take an example. Let's say, Supriya, since you answered first, can I make you a volunteer? Let me ask you.
Yes.
You're new in the business?
Not new.
Okay, not new. Okay, let me. Okay, I need a volunteer. Who's new in the business? Just started recently. Okay, Murtuza. We'll start. So Murtuza, what do you do, Murtuza?
Professionally, I'm a civil engineer.
Okay.
So presently I'm working with GSPC group of companies.
which is
Chalo,
located
great.
in Gandhinagar. Yeah.
Great. So you're a civil engineer. Now let's say Murtuza, you've made a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
बहुत पैसा आ गया है, and you say अब मुझे अपना business करना है, right? अपना एक नया product चाहिए, मुझे कुछ अपना, I want to manufacture and market my own product.
Correct.
And for some strange reason you feel कि shampoo is a great product, right? So you decide कि मुझे अपना brand create करना है shampoo का, I will manufacture and market my own brand of shampoo, right? How will you go about it? What will be the first step?
First, I need to understand how the shampoos are, manufactured. I need to study in and out the process for that.
Okay, so before that, what you will probably need to do is you need information.
Yeah.
On, bhai, you want to know ki is there latent demand for any particular type of shampoo, which no one is addressing so far? Uska market size kitna hoga? Kya aapka target segment kaisa hoga? So for all this, you will probably hire a market research agency, first step.
Correct.
And you will say ki mujhe ye sab data chahiye, I need this information. And they will collect all this data on your behalf using different tools. Focus group discussions karenge. They will do market surveys. And they will gather all this data. They will process the data. And they'll prepare a report and give it to you. Ki Mr. Murtuza, according to our findings, there is a demand for this kind of a shampoo, which no one is addressing. But there is a latent demand, right? And this is what your target segment looks like. This is their socioeconomic status. They live in Cat A, B cities. These are their media habits. Right? And this should be your price point. Now you got the basic information.
Correct.
Now you set up your company, right? So alag departments in company mein, there's a manufacturing department. Now as the name suggests, unka kya kaam hai? To manufacture the product, right? So manufacturing department mein, head of manufacturing ko aapne brief de diya. This is what I want. These are the specifications, quality standards. Ye chahiye. So it is under production. अब बहुत जल्दी शैम्पू बॉटल होके फैक्ट्री से बाहर आने वाला है. अब सवाल ये है कि आपके टारगेट सेगमेंट को पता कैसे चलेगा? एक नया शैम्पू आया मार्केट में. लेट्स गिव इट अ ब्रांड नेम, मुर्तुजा शैम्पू. मुर्तुजा इज अ नाइस नेम. सो लेट्स से इट्स कॉल्ड मुर्तुजा शैम्पू. तो पब्लिक को पता कैसे चलेगा कि नया शैम्पू आया कॉल्ड मुर्तुजा शैम्पू, राइट? एंड these are the features. So this is where your marketing department comes, right? So you have some smart people in marketing. उनका काम क्या है? Their job is to ensure that your target segment is aware of this shampoo, the benefits of the shampoo, the features, and the communication needs to be presented in such a way that that desire to buy and try the shampoo should get created.
Right.
And for this, probably first step, you will identify a celebrity with whom you feel your target segment is very likely to relate with. Right? So, मान लेते हैं मुर्तुजा, you decide कि Katrina Kaif is that person. मेरा टारगेट सेगमेंट कटरीना कैफ के साथ बहुत रिलेट करेगा. Now you pay crores of rupees and you bring her on board as a brand ambassador. Right? Then you hire an ad agency, O&M, Lintas, some big ad agency को आप hire करते हो. Again, you pay them a lot of money to create multiple ad constructs to appeal to the target segment, which they're doing now. वो अलग-अलग एंगल से शूटिंग करके, अलग डायलॉग्स, वो सब करके they create different ad constructs. Now it's ready. Now you will keep spending crores and crores of rupees repeatedly transmitting that communication using different channels on TV, OTT platforms, digital, below the line, different. Ab it's on air. You're spending a lot of money, but it's on air. और हम मान लेते हैं हम सब they're your target segment मुर्तुजा. हम लोग घर पे बैठ के टीवी देख रहे हैं, मैच देख रहे हैं इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया, एंड ओवर के बीच में suddenly we see Katrina Kaif all of a sudden walks. पूरे स्टाइल से शी इज वॉकिंग, एक हवा का झोंका आता है और कटरीना जी के बाल ऐसे लहराते हैं, राइट? एंड शी टर्न्स एंड शी सेज, मेरे काले घने लंबे बालों का राज है मुर्तुजा शैम्पू, राइट? अब हम लोग खुश, we believe that Katrina Kaif's hair is the way it is because she's using Murtuza shampoo. Demand is created instantly. यहाँ पे कोई है जिसको काले घने लंबे रेशमी बाल नहीं चाहिए? सबको चाहिए? So now for that, what do we believe we need to do? Use Murtuza shampoo, right? तो अब डिमांड क्रिएट हो गया. All of us want to buy Murtuza shampoo. अब सवाल ये है कि Murtuza shampoo खरीदने के लिए मैं कहाँ जाऊंगा? Will I come to your factory? No, I'll go to my next door Kirana store or the nearest supermarket, right? So how does that shampoo get from your factory to the supermarket? So this is where your distribution team comes into play, right? उनका क्या काम है? Their job is to ensure that Murtuza shampoo is available at every nook and corner of the country. गली गली में, नुक्कड़ नुक्कड़ पे available है. And to ensure that this happens, they create a very complex distribution structure. Right? फैक्ट्री से निकल के माल जाता है CNF के पास, कैरिंग एंड फॉरवर्डिंग एजेंसी. वहां से होलसेलर, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर, स्टॉकिस्ट, डीलर, रिटेलर, करते करते that's how it reaches the end customer. Now understand, everyone is eating into the margin. CNF का अपना मार्जिन है, होलसेलर का, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर, स्टॉकिस्ट, डीलर, रिटेलर, सबका अपना अपना मार्जिन है. राइट? अब डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सेट हो गया मुर्तुजा. टेल मी समथिंग, अपने आप चल सकता है क्या ये डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन? नहीं चल सकता है. हैंडलिंग अ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज अ वेरी वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स जॉब. राइट? उसको मैनेज करने के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा सेल्स फोर्स चाहिए. Every city in India, you will have feet on street, you will have territory sales executives, area managers, right? अब इतने एम्प्लॉइज हो गए हैं ऑल ओवर द कंट्री, तो ऑफिसेस भी चाहिए जहां से ये लोग ऑपरेट करेंगे. Hence the overheads, right? And apart from all this, to keep your distributors and your sales team motivated, साल में एक बार कम से कम आप घुमाने ले जाओगे उनको, बैंकॉक or wherever you'll do, off sites, you'll do trade promotions. Now, all these costs that I've just mentioned typically ends up eating a lion's share of your product total cost, right? तो मान लेते हैं the MRP of a bottle of Murtuza shampoo is 100 rupees. 100 रुपए is what the final customer is paying for the product. What do you think is your cost of production and packaging? Take a guess. कितना होना चाहिए?
Around 10%.
Correct. So 10%, 10 रुपए से ज्यादा नहीं लगता है in manufacturing the product, just getting it ready, right? What do you think is your net profit? उस 100 रुपए में से फाइनली आपके पॉकेट में कितना जाएगा?
Around 20-30%.
You're being very optimistic. 10%.
I'm not into business, so I'm just having a wild guess.
Okay, no problem. I'll tell you. So 10% is considered a very healthy net margin. See, your ROI over the entire year will be much healthier because it's a fast-moving consumer good. You're rotating that capital multiple times, and you're at the end of the year you'll have a much healthier ROI. But एक product पे net margin is not more than 10%, right? So 10 रुपया net profit. तो 10 रुपया cost of production, 10 रुपया net profit. 20 रुपया कहाँ गया हमें समझ में आ गया, right? बाकी का 80 रुपया कहाँ जा रहा है?
बीच का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में.
So not entirely, कुछ तो सरकार को भी देना पड़ेगा, GST वगैरह. But yes, the biggest chunk of it goes into something called as the MAD cost, marketing, advertising, distribution, right? So मोटा मोटी 60 रुपया उसी में जा रहा है. कटरीना कैफ को, एडवर्टाइजिंग एजेंसी को, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन को, सेल्स टीम्स को, ये सब उसी में जा रहा है. सो now tell me something, Murtuza, ये 60 रुपया, 60 rupees is a very big chunk of the 100 rupees, right? ये 60 रुपया खर्च करके is the quality of your shampoo improving or does it remain the same?
It remains same.
It remains exactly the same. There is no change, but the perception is changing. It is people think कि काले घने लंबी रेशमी बाल हो जाएंगे ये लगा के, और communication आ रहा है, it is reaching the, तो वो करना भी तो जरूरी है. We can't do away with it. So a question that started being asked multiple of decades back was, is there a better way? Is there a better way of creating awareness and getting your product or service to the customer without having to spend such a huge percentage of the cost in marketing, advertising, distribution, or MAD costs, right? And the answer that emerged was network marketing. So a lot of decades back, some people said that अगर इतना पैसा जो marketing, advertising, distribution में खर्च हो रहा है, what if we save all these advertising costs, and जो जितना हम पैसा बचाएंगे, what if we use a part of that saving to strengthen the product proposition or offer superior products compared to competition? We will end up creating satisfied customers. And a customer who's satisfied, क्या करता है? Is likely to come back, right? When you use in the past, whenever you used a product and you're happy with it, what have you done? You keep going back. Now, every time you want the product, you'll go back, or you start buying products of the same brand. So it was believed that because we are offering better products, we will create satisfied customers who will keep coming back. Loyalty will get built, right? And then it was also believed that जितने satisfied customers जो आ गए, it would be possible to get some of them on board as business partners who would also see the commercial value, in the business model, and who would come on board as partners. And they would in turn create more customers and partners, who in turn would create more customers and partners. So level by level by level, we would eventually penetrate the entire market. So that's how the concept of network marketing originated. You know, that was the idea of how it started. So first of all, to get some facts right, there's a lot of confusion कि network marketing क्या है, कुछ अलग business है, कोई अलग business नहीं है. It is one of the ways of creating awareness, you know, and getting the product or service to the customer, right? Now, why are we so excited about it? Why is there so much of euphoria about network marketing? Because it makes sense. It's a very efficient model and it is the future. And for you to understand that, let me compare it with the existing formats that exist. And then you'll understand why does it make so much of sense and why is it, right, the future. So, आज के date में, to get a product or a service to a customer, you know, there are 4 prominent formats of distribution that exist. 4 तरीके हैं, major. चारों में से जो सबसे पुराना है और अभी भी सबसे बड़ा है is your typical FMCG model. So जब हम मुर्तजा शैम्पू की जो हम बात कर रहे थे, जो मॉडल की हम बात कर रहे थे, that is your typical FMCG model, right? Traditional model. Now this is the oldest, but like I said, it's still the largest. क्यों? क्योंकि इसके कुछ advantages हैं. Now one advantage which you understood is that the distribution is so comprehensive that your product is available at every nook and corner of the country. गली गली में available है. जैसे आप देखिए कोलगेट, लक्स, ये सब हर छोटे छोटे गांव में छोटे छोटे पान की दुकान पे मिल जाता है, क्योंकि डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इतना कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव है, राइट? सेकंड इज सपोर्टेड बाय एडवर्टाइजिंग. यू क्रिएट अ डिमांड, इंस्टेंट डिमांड, एंड गिवन द फैक्ट कि आपका प्रोडक्ट ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल है हर पॉइंट ऑफ सेल पे, इट गोज ऑफ द शेल्फ इमीडिएटली. सो स्पीड ऑफ एग्जीक्यूशन, एड ब्लास्ट किया सडनली, सो ऑफ टेक इज इमीडिएट, एग्जीक्यूशन इज क्विक, राइट? सो विच इज व्हाई इट इज स्टिल द लार्जेस्ट. बट अब देखा जा रहा है कि ये जो फॉर्मेट है, दिस इज डीग्रोइंग ईयर ऑन ईयर. क्यों? बिकॉज देयर आर सर्टेन चैलेंजेस टू दिस फॉर्मेट. यू नो, एक चैलेंज आपको समझ में आ गया होगा अगेन, इज दैट इट्स नॉट अ वेरी कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव फॉर्मेट. यू नो, योर प्रोडक्ट इज चेंजिंग टू मेनी हैंड्स. देयर इज अ कॉस्ट एट एवरी स्टेज, राइट? सीएनएफ का अपना मार्जिन है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर का, स्टॉकिस्ट का, डीलर का, रिटेलर का. सो नॉट वेरी कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव. सेकेंड चैलेंज इज, जो ये स्कूल ऑफ थॉट है ना बिहाइंड दिस, द स्कूल ऑफ थॉट इज जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. So visibility is very important for it to sell in this model. Hence, there is a lot of dependence on advertising. Now, I'm sure as all of you are aware, advertising is no longer as effective as it used to be a few decades back, right? Why? Multiple reasons for that. Ek reason kya hai? Simple reason. There is too much of information today. Customers confused, right? Let me explain this better. How many of you remember this ad? वॉशिंग पाउडर निरमा. कितने लोगों को याद है? सबको याद है. क्यों याद है? बिकॉज बैक इन दोज डेज बहुत लिमिटेड एड कंटेंट होता था, सीमित होता था. इनफैक्ट इवन द चैनल्स वर limited. In fact, there was only a Doordarshan. How many of you from the era when there was only Doordarshan? So people closer to my age, we've seen only Doordarshan, right? सब कुछ देखते थे उसमें, कृषि दर्शन, चित्रहार. नाउ सो जो भी एड्स आते थे, इट वाज वेरी इजी टू रिटेन एंड इम्बाइब, राइट? सो सब याद है हमें. अब आज की डेट में आप देखिए, देयर इज सो मच ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन बीइंग थ्रोन एट अस फ्रॉम सो मेनी मीडियम्स, यू नो, so many OTT platforms, your channels, your digital, your below the line, and so the customer is confused. Like suppose if I'm sitting at home and watching TV and I see a mobile phone ad. Now the problem is that in the last 7 days, I would have seen 7 different mobile phone ads. I would have seen a Alia Bhatt, Amir Khan, Ranveer Singh, Dhoni, Kohli. Last में याद भी नहीं रहता who's endorsing which brand, right? So it's called clutter. एक ये challenge है. Second, एडवर्टाइजिंग की जो क्रेडिबिलिटी होती थी एक जमाने में, वो नहीं रही है आज की डेट में. यू नो, 20-25 साल पहले जब माधुरी दीक्षित बोलती थी मेरी सुंदरता का राज है लक्स, लोग मान लेते थे. अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल वुड बाय लक्स, यूज इट एंड एक्सपेक्ट दैट माय स्किन विल आल्सो नाउ बिकम लाइक माधुरीज. यू नो, व्हेन आई वाज अ किड आई यूज्ड टू यूज सिंथॉल एंड आई यूज्ड टू फील कि मैं भी विनोद खन्ना जैसा तंदुरुस्त हो जाऊंगा, राइट? सो दैट वाज बैक देन. Now today, thankfully, people have become smarter. You know, internet की वजह से. So people are not as gullible as they were back in the day. आप में से किसी को genuinely लगता है कि शाहरुख खान drives the Santro? नहीं ना? Or that Amitabh Bachchan actually uses Navratna केश तेल? Thank God. So because of all these reasons, ये format जो है वो धीरे-धीरे degrow हो रहा है, right? So this was the first format. उसके बाद आया the second format that started about 100 years back is the concept of franchising. I'm sure all of you understand franchising, simple model, right? If I'm a manufacturer, I have a product, I will first spend money on building a brand. Then I will look for a partner for every territory. Get a partner on board, train, mentor, groom, and under a set of guidelines, authorize my partner to sell my products and services. Or in other words, I will appoint a franchisee for every territory, right? Now, franchising has become a very successful model. Why? Because एक तो distribution layers को आपने minimize कर दिया है. Now the margins are shared only between the manufacturer and the franchisee. Maybe in some cases the master franchisee, right? So margins are better. But the biggest strength of franchising lies in the fact that it's a very high control model, right? For example, मान लेते हैं कल को मैं बरिस्ता का फ्रेंचाइजी ले लेता हूँ मुंबई में, राइट? अब मैंने फ्रेंचाइजी तो ले लिया, बट कैन आई डिसाइड मेन्यू पे क्या डालना है, क्या प्राइसिंग होगा, क्या इंग्रेडिएंट्स यूज करूंगा? आई कैन डिसाइड एनीथिंग. Color combination, uniform, everything is dictated by the parent company. But because of that high level of standardization, the product or service delivery for barista is uniform. If you walk into my outlet and order a cappuccino, and then you go to Chennai tomorrow and go to a barista and order a cappuccino there, you'll get exactly the same product, same taste, same price, look and feel. The accent will be a little different, but that's about it, right? Now, this is what makes franchising such a powerful model. Customer knows exactly what to expect, and that expectation is met again and again and again, right? So, which is why franchising has become very successful. So, 100 साल, I told you, 100 साल हुए हैं franchising को, मोटा मोटी. Already 35% of the world's organized retail is happening through franchising. So that's how big it has become, right? Now, while I've told you how big it has become, अब क्या देखा जा रहा है? Franchising is slowing down. It's reaching a stagnation. क्योंकि franchising में भी कुछ challenges हैं. But do you know the biggest challenge to franchising? The biggest challenge lies in the fact that it's a very high setup cost model for a new partner. I don't know how many of you tried exploring becoming a franchisee, but just in Mumbai, if you want to take a franchisee of McDonald's, it'll cost you about 10 crores. KFC a little lower, but nothing very different. Your जिस बरिस्ता की हम बात कर रहे थे 2.5-3 करोड़ उसमें लग जाएगा, right? Now, not too many people have that kind of capital to start a business. So that's the bottleneck to franchising, which is why now it's slowing down, right? So पहला था traditional model, second was franchising. The third model that came in later is the concept of micro franchising. Why micro franchising? So it's based on the franchising model, but at a micro level. Hence, far more inclusive and far more evolved. अब माइक्रो फ्रेंचाइजिंग को समझते हैं. माइक्रो फ्रेंचाइजिंग में क्या होता है? Let's say I am a manufacturer. I have certain products, I appoint Supriya as a micro franchisee. We work very closely together. I train, mentor, groom. And under a set of guidelines, I authorize her to sell my products and services. But over and above this, I also give Supriya the authority to further appoint micro franchisees on my behalf. Right? As you would have understood, all network marketing, MLM concepts are based on the micro franchising concept, right? Now, micro franchising has done phenomenally well. The reason being, it's a win-win model. So when I say win-win, win-win from a company's point of view, win-win from a micro franchisee's point of view. पहले company के नजरिए से देखते हैं. Let's say if I'm a network marketing company. I may start slow because I'm not using mass media. I'm not using all that. So my start will be slow relatively. But मेरा model ऐसा है कि my distribution keeps growing exponentially. Because every distribution point of mine is creating multiple distribution points year on year, right? Which means 15-20 साल में my distribution is so comprehensive that there is no dependence on anything else, no advertising, nothing required. Effectively, what I've done, I've created my own ecosystem, जिसके through I can sell whatever products and services I want. Clear? Now let's look at it from a micro franchise perspective. ये तो company के नजरिए से देख रहे थे अब. Now we are all micro franchisees. Not only do we get paid for selling or referring products or services on behalf of the company, right? But more importantly, since we are also helping the company build its distribution, हमारे थ्रू जो भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन क्रिएट होता जाएगा डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली, उसके थ्रू जो भी टर्नओवर क्रिएट होता जाएगा जिंदगी भर, we get a percentage, right? So it's a very scalable model. A micro franchisee who works smart and builds the right distribution can make crazy amount of money, which is why this industry is doing phenomenally well. It's a $200 billion industry as we speak. And these are official statistics. And the unofficial figure says it's a $500 billion industry. There are experts who claim it will touch $1 trillion, not too far in the future. There's a book by Robert Kiyosaki. You've heard of Robert Kiyosaki? So he's authored a couple of books on pertaining to this industry. There's a book called The Business of the 21st Century. So in that, he claims that this industry has created the highest number of new millionaires in the recent past. And if you take it a little, so outside of IT and sports, it has created the highest number of new millionaires. Right? So this industry is doing phenomenally well. But like I said, there are pros and cons to every model. Now there are certain challenges to a micro franchising concept. तो सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज क्या है? जो फ्रेंचाइजिंग का जो सबसे बड़ा स्ट्रेंथ था, हाई कंट्रोल, ये यहाँ पे उल्टा है. The control is very low for a company. How? Because example लेते हैं. Let's say I am the company. I have appointed Supriya. Supriya appoints Murtuza. Murtuza appoints Jatin. Jatin appoints Kalpesh. Kalpesh appoints Sangeeta. Sangeeta appoints Rohit. और ये करते over so many levels, someone appoints Mr. X. Right now, this Mr. X comes into the system, but he is not very ethical. उसको जल्दी में पैसा कमाना है, right? He makes wrong commitments to people. गलत commitments करके कुछ take shortcuts, and the company ends up getting a bad name. People feel that the company is propagating such practices. The reality is, company is not even aware what the guy is doing. He's so many levels below. The company will get to know eventually because escalation hoga, complaint hoga, and the company will take corrective action, which is terminate the guy's distributorship. But reputational damage is already done, right? So while your Amways of the world are actually good business models, but dilution, since dilution keeps happening over every level, eventually leads to negative customer experience. So the perception is not very positive. Are you with me so far? Yeah? Are you awake? Okay. Now the fourth format of distribution is e-commerce. Now all of you understand e-commerce and you engage in e-commerce. Simple, smart model. As a customer, I log on to a portal. कुछ पसंद आ गया, credit card details डाला, pay directly to them, they ship it to me. Simple. E-commerce is the future, right? Why? Because the other formats over the long run will not be able to compete with e-commerce. कैसे करेंगे? पहले तो cost पे कर ही नहीं सकते compete. E-commerce में क्या होता है? As a customer, I have direct access to the company. I have a direct interface with the company, which means we are removing the middleman. पैसा बच रहा है, right? You are eliminating or at least minimizing the need for physical infrastructure. इतने shop stores नहीं चाहिए. Your inventory management is better because everything is centralized. अलग-अलग जगह आपका माल फंसा हुआ नहीं है, right? So cost में आप compete नहीं कर सकते e-commerce के साथ. Second is the convenience factor. It's a very convenient model. I don't know how many of you realize this, but people who live in cities like Mumbai and probably Bangalore would appreciate it even more. So I'll tell you, Mumbai में, if I have to step out of my house, अगर 5 किलोमीटर भी जाना पड़े ना कुछ खरीदने के लिए, it's a nightmare. Because city is such. एक तो नीचे जाओ parking में, get into my car, go through that crazy traffic, वहाँ destination पे पहुँच के look for a parking, that's a nightmare. उसके बाद get into the store, look for the product, stand in a queue to make a payment, and then the entire process of coming back again. Now, thanks to e-commerce, I don't need to do that. Right? जो चाहिए 2 मिनट में ऑर्डर हो गया, 24 घंटे में घर पहुंच जाता है. That's convenience. In fact, I don't remember the last time I actually stepped out of my house to buy a product. मुझे याद भी नहीं है. हाँ याद है 6 महीने पहले एक टेनिस रैकेट खरीदने गया था because I wanted to feel it and but that's right because it's so convenient. And convenience is very important, and any model that is convenient will continue to grow. For example, how many of you use Google Pay? I'm guessing everyone, right? Why? Because it's so convenient. And the third strength of e-commerce, which people still don't realize, most people, is the reach that it has. The reach is phenomenal. Let me explain to you this better. So I come from a small town. I'm from a place called Muzaffarpur. कितने लोगों ने नाम सुना हुआ है मुजफ्फरपुर का? Okay, so some of you, very good. A lot of you. Okay. So now, in my growing up years, बचपन में, I did not have access to a lot of products. क्यों? क्योंकि मुजफ्फरपुर में मिलता ही नहीं था. Right? Now think about it. Today, thanks to e-commerce, it does not matter where you live. आप मुजफ्फरपुर में रह रहे हैं या मुंबई में रह रहे हैं या किसी गांव में रह रहे हैं. Makes no difference. Anyone to everyone, at the click of a button, has access to pretty much every product. It gets delivered to you no matter where you live. That is the reach e-commerce has, right? And which is why e-commerce is the future, right? Now, while we are saying e-commerce is the future, do you know that we are still kind of struggling with e-commerce, right? What do I mean when I say struggling? E-commerce का जो potential है, उसका एक छोटा सा percentage भी अभी तक हमने effectively capture नहीं किया है, which is also the opportunity. Huh? But let's understand, where are we struggling? What are the challenges that we are currently facing? First challenge, technical inhibition. हर कोई अभी भी नेट savvy नहीं है. So no matter how good a deal, मेरे पापा मुजफ्फरपुर में बैठ के उसका एडवांटेज नहीं उठा सकते. He's not very comfortable online, right? Same with a lot of my relatives. In fact, जो नेट savvy population है इतना बड़ा, उसमें एक बहुत बड़ा सेगमेंट है जो अभी भी घबराता है e-commerce से. You know, surprisingly, a lot of people still feel कि अगर क्रेडिट कार्ड डिटेल्स डाल दिया ऑनलाइन तो फ्रॉड हो सकता है. Now, I come from a banking background, and I can tell you that today your online transaction is actually very, very, very secure. The same was not the case 15 years back, but everything has changed gradually. You know, एक तो आपने देखा होगा RBI has kept adding layers of security. पहले CVV आया, फिर OTP आ गया. The bit rate encryption has changed. You know, so today it's actually very secure. The only way a fraud can happen is if someone is stupid enough to give all the details over the phone to someone else, including the OTP. तभी हो सकता है, right? But people still are scared. वो जमतारा जैसे सीरियल्स देख के और डर जाते हैं, right? So अब ये चैलेंज रहेगा कुछ टाइम तक. Now the other challenge with e-commerce, and especially in India, the bigger challenge is lack of personal touch. See, we Indians, if you understand, as a consumer segment, we have relatively lower trust levels as consumers compared to an average European or an American. हम लोग को ना बिना टच एंड फील के, बिना ह्यूमन एलिमेंट के, किसी से गपशप किए बिना डिसीजन लेना बहुत मुश्किल होता है हमारे लिए, राइट? लाइक टेल मी वन थिंग, कल को कुछ खरीदना होगा, यू वांट टू बाय समथिंग, व्हाट वुड यू प्रेफर टू डू? यू वुड वांट टू वॉक इनटू अ स्टोर, राइट? और स्टोर में घुस के आउट ऑफ इंस्टिंक्ट वी लुक फॉर ह्यूमन इंटरेक्शन. यू नो, सेल्समैन या दुकानदार को पकड़ के 3-4 सवाल पूछना मैंडेटरी होता है. ये बेटर है कि ये बेटर है, इसमें क्या कंप्लेंट्स है, क्या फीचर्स है, उसको हम जानते भी नहीं है. बट जब वो बोलता है ना कि सर मेरी आंख बंद करके आप ये ले लो, मेरी गारंटी है, नो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, और कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुआ आई एम देयर, राइट? इट गिव्स अस अ लॉट ऑफ कंफर्ट. इट्स वेरी साइकोलॉजिकल. इट गिव्स अस अ लॉट ऑफ कंफर्ट, एंड देन वी टच एंड फील द प्रोडक्ट, एंड देन वी बाय इट, राइट? अब इतना इंपॉर्टेंट जो एलिमेंट है, it's missing in e-commerce. There's no touch and feel, there's no human element, and that's a bottleneck. You'll be surprised to know the percentage of net savvy people who log on to a portal, select a product but don't buy. क्यों? क्योंकि दिमाग में क्या सवाल आ रहा है कि ये जैसा दिख रहा है इमेज में, अगर वैसा नहीं हुआ तो क्या होगा? या एक डिफेक्टिव पीस अगर कंपनी ने भेज दिया, किसको पकड़ेंगे? Because everything is virtual, right? There's no one you can catch by the neck and say वापस करो. So we still are struggling with that. You know, eventually that will also change, but it's going to take ages, right? And the third challenge which e-commerce companies are facing is it's so convenient that there is zero loyalty. You know, so let me explain. Suppose I'm physically going somewhere. Let's say I go to shop a store. You know, अब एक दो बार अगर जाऊंगा ना, थोड़ी affinity develop हो जाती है, एक sense of familiarity develop हो जाती है. I know where to park my car. I know किस section में क्या मिलता है. You know, so I end up going there more often. अब e-commerce में क्या होता है? I may have bought 5 things from Amazon, right? But जब छठी चीज मुझे खरीदनी होगी, in a matter of seconds, I get a comparative pricing कि Amazon पे इतने का है, Flipkart पे इतने का है, Snapdeal पे इतने का है. And if Flipkart is offering me 100 rupees lower, I'll buy from Flipkart. So there is zero loyalty. And this is where companies are struggling. Most of them are not making money, as you know. They're still burning millions of dollars every year. Why? Because they're having to spend so much money on just to attract and retain customers on search engine optimization, on advertising, on promotions, offers, discounts, right? So these are the challenges, right? Now, what have we done? If you look at QNet, what is the model? We have taken the concept of micro franchising, which is very powerful, by the way, and we very effectively put it on the e-commerce platform. And that has completely changed the game. So our founders are visionaries. Are you aware who our founders are? So anyway, they're visionaries. And back in 1998, they had said that there are two models which are the future. Word of mouth, micro franchising, and e-commerce. And they said our business will be built entirely on these two models, right? Now think about it. 1998 mein, how many people were into e-commerce? There were a lot of players into e-commerce, but it was at a very, very incipient stage, right? No one really understood which way it would go. And if you remember 2001 mein, you remember the dot-com bubble burst? Most companies which were on the digital platform, they shut shop. Our founder said this is just a temporary blip. This is the future. We will stick with this, right? And have you seen where e-commerce has come today? If you're in business and you're not in e-commerce, you're going to be a dinosaur very soon. That's where e-commerce has reached today. Now let's talk about word of mouth, the micro franchising model. Now, word of mouth has always been in existence, but very few people understood the power of it, and especially back in 1998. You know, कुछ professions हैं जो हमेशा word of mouth पे ही चले हैं. Doctors, restaurants, you know, ये सब by default word of mouth पे चलते हैं. But लोगों को समझ में नहीं आता था. धीरे धीरे we said 1998 पे कि हाँ word of mouth, right? Then you see how that has changed. The corporate world started realizing the advantages, the power of word of mouth. The IT industry were one of the early adopters. You know, Microsoft and Dell were built entirely on word of mouth. City Gold was created word of mouth. You know, a hardcore FMCG company like Hindustan Unilever has a subsidiary, Hindustan Network Limited, which is a word of mouth channel for a range of their products, right? आज की डेट में आप देखो, everything is word of mouth. Hiring, 60% hiring in corporate India is employee referrals. What's that? Word of mouth. So look around you. Ola, Uber, everywhere, refer a friend. Why? Because the world is realizing that for acquisition, there is nothing more powerful than word of mouth, right? So something the world is realizing today, our founders realized in 1998, and they said word of mouth and e-commerce. Are you guys with me so far? किसी को नींद आ रही है? Be honest. Chalo, good to know. Now, okay, Hariharan. Hariharan sleepy? He's put his hand down. Let me show you PPT. Corporate में काम करके ना, मतलब बिना PPT के training होता नहीं है. So what is the business we discussed? We discussed evolution of distribution formats, you know, traditional franchising, micro franchising. And we've come to the conclusion so far that QNet is a hybrid model, you know, e-commerce and network marketing. That's where we are right now. Now, let me tell you guys something which you probably don't realize. You probably don't know how lucky you are. And why do I say that? With respect to timing, you have started the business at a time when a lot has changed. Let me just put it that way. Right. See, I started the business 12 years back, actually. 12 साल पहले और today, आसमान जमीन का फर्क है. A lot has changed. See, change is the only constant in life. Change hota rahega. You know, every generation is very different from the previous generation. Have you seen how different our parents are from us? Right? हमारे parents, मतलब मेरे parents सोच समझ के खर्च करते थे. Loan was a taboo. Huh? How many of you grown up here listening to dialogues like जितना चादर है उतना पैर फैलाओ, पैसा पेड़ पे नहीं उगता है, right? Because that was their thought process. And हिसाब से चलते थे. मुझे याद है मेरे पेरेंट्स ने जब घर बनाया था हमारा, तो स्टेप बाय स्टेप था. पहले पैसा खरीदा, लैंड, पैसा जमीन, सॉरी इकट्ठा किया, जमीन खरीदी, you know, after a few years फिर फाउंडेशन दिया, फिर वो बना, फिर, you know, it was an ongoing process because that's how they lived. Now today we have very different aspiration levels. because of the internet, because of, we are a different generation. Cable TV aaya, फिर internet aaya, so our exposure has been much more, right? Hence aspiration levels are higher, and now there are tools to meet those aspiration levels which are acceptable, credit card, home loan, auto loan, and it's available. So I remember while I was doing my MBA, before I even passed out, first year के बाद ही credit card मिल गया Citibank का. Then I finished my MBA, then I auto loan मिल गया 2-3 महीने में. उसके बाद फिर 1 साल में home loan मिल गया, तो घर भी खरीद ली, right? So we've started living our life. Aspirations meet करने के लिए tools भी आ गए. Now the problem is, अब ये सब तो मैंने किया, but very soon I realized कि जब तक मेरी सैलरी आती थी उसका हिसाब किताब हो चुका होता था. इतना क्रेडिट कार्ड बिल, इतना ऑटो लोन, इतना होम लोन, तो लास्ट में कुछ बचता नहीं था. I was just surviving the month somehow on credit card, and then next month again. So it was kind of a debt trap that I was in, and which most people are in today, right? Nothing wrong with that, because the Western world has been living this way for decades. The developed countries, so-called developed countries. We just ape them with a lag of a few decades. We do whatever they're doing, right? I'll tell you the biggest change that has happened. पहले क्या था ना कि मालूम है कि इस तारीख को ये सैलरी आ जाएगी, तो I'll pay off my home loan, insurance, जो भी मेरे dues मैं पे कर दूंगा. Now, in the last 3 years, to be specific, that has changed. During the pandemic, I'm sure all of you know at least one person very close to you who either lost their jobs during the pandemic or took a major pay cut, furlough, or had a thriving business which shut shop. All of you know at least one person. So हमने बहुत करीबी से देखा है, या तो खुद के साथ हुआ होगा या किसी करीबी आदमी को देखा जिसके साथ हुआ है. So what has changed is that myth of job security has been broken. कि या एक business है वो चलता रहेगा just because it's doing well today. People have understood that नहीं, anything can happen tomorrow. So as a result, people have become open to the idea of a secondary source of income. कि चलो जॉब के साथ साथ कुछ और चाहिए हमें, जो कि मैं बता रहा हूँ 12 साल पहले नहीं था इंडिया में. Very few people, कुछ लोग हमेशा से enterprising होते हैं, but that was a very small population. Today, most people are open, right? And now think about it. Think about your friends. किसी को secondary source of income we're talking about right now, job के साथ साथ कितने options हैं आज की डेट में? Because कोई भी business आप खड़ा करो, सबसे बड़ा challenge क्या है? Startup cost. Normally, any business requires a huge startup cost. आपको मालूम है एक पान का दुकान खोलने में कितना पैसा लगता है? Anyone wants to warrant a guess? मुंबई में 7-8 लाख रुपया लगेगा, right? Just to open a पान का दुकान. And I don't think any of your friends will be interested in opening a पान का दुकान. They'll want something probably more substantial, right? तो मतलब 30, 40, 50 लाख startup cost कहीं नहीं गया. Now, most people don't have that kind of funds to start a business. उसके लिए लोन भी नहीं मिलेगा, right? अब मान लिया कुछ लोगों ने स्टार्ट कर भी दिया, स्टार्टअप कॉस्ट हो गया. Do you know that? Do you think कि बिजनेस स्टार्ट करते इमीडिएटली ऑपरेशनल ब्रेक इवन हो जाता है? जमाना लगता है. Till then, you have to keep pumping in money. There's a working capital that is required just to sustain the business. It takes time for it to just reach operational break even. Most businesses shut shop because the person is not able to meet the working capital requirements, right? So अगर आपके दोस्त ने कुछ 40-50 लाख जुगाड़ के बिजनेस स्टार्ट कर भी लिया, पता नहीं वो कितने दिन सस्टेन होगा, right? And suppose working capital भी हो गया, पैसा है. Third is कि how many businesses do you know जो जॉब के साथ, because right now we are talking about a secondary source of income, जॉब के साथ साथ मैनेज हो जाएगा उतने टाइम में? Because I have a few friends who tried different businesses along with the job. पैसा भी कमाया, but had to shut it because नहीं हो रहा था manage. It requires far more time. Most lost money in different businesses. Some had to sell it because they realized it's not possible. Any business requires a lot of time, at least in the initial phase, the first few years, right? And मान लिया चलो startup cost, working capital, time सब हो गया organize. The fourth is सिखाएगा कौन? See, every business has its trade secrets. It has its own nuances. You know, कौन सिखाएगा? Again, a lot of businesses shut shop because people try to learn through hit and trial. और इतनी बड़ी गलतियां हो जाती हैं कि वापस खड़े नहीं हो पाते पैर पे. Right? Now, let's come to our business. Startup cost, nothing significant. Chota amount, right? Which I think any of your friends can organize. Working capital क्या है? Negligible है. The only working capital required in a business जो हमने self development पे हम खर्च करते हैं. कुछ training हो रहा है, if you're traveling somewhere, you know, for a conference, that is the only working capital that is required. और Wi-Fi का जो पैसा दे रहे हैं, right? Third, time. Can you do it along with your job? Of course. This is a business. 2-3 घंटा, I think anyone can take out 2-3 hours in a day. And if they can't, then they need the business even more, right? And the fourth is सिखाएगा कौन? Now this is the best part. बहुत लोग हैं सिखाने के लिए. And the best part is we are taught by people who themselves have become successful. You know, खुद जिन्होंने किया है. Hence the teaching is far more relevant, far more impactful. Right? So perfect, right? Ki need is there. Everyone needs a secondary source of income, or at least is open to the idea of a secondary source of income. And we have a perfect fit, you know, for the requirement. But while I'm saying great, and you're all lucky that we are in a time like this, but ऐसा नहीं है कि the going is going to be very easy. I hope none of you have come with the perception कि आते ही मतलब फटाफट ढेर सारे साइनअप्स हो जाएंगे, वो और साइनअप कर लेंगे, हम करोड़पति बन जाएंगे ओवरनाइट. किसी अपलाइन ने ऐसा एक्सपेक्टेशन तो सेट नहीं किया ना. It's you will face challenges. It can't be that simple, right? You can't become financially independent without facing challenges. Now, what do you think is the biggest challenge you will face? Anyone wants to take a guess? I'm telling you, there'll be multiple challenges, lots of challenges. But what challenge do you think is going to be the toughest?
Mindset.
Okay, so what about the mindset?
Whether we'll be able to be successful, that always remains.
Okay, so our khud ka belief on ourselves and our ability to sustain ourselves and reach that, we'll keep questioning.
Correct.
Great, so that definitely is a challenge. Yes, Anit?
I think the time required to be successful, it might vary for people to people. तो उतने दिनों तक धंधे में खड़ा रहना वो एक चैलेंज हो सकता है.
Okay, great. Kalpesh?
Like same only, rejections. So
Okay.
rejections will be faced.
So handling the rejection. So all of you are right. You know, so I'll tell you the biggest challenge. सबसे बड़ा challenge क्या है? The challenge is the perception that a lot of people have about this industry. You know, जब मैंने शुरू किया था, ठीक है, मैंने तो बहुत research कर लिया, ये सब कर लिया. But when I started doing the business, and some of my friends or people I knew, when they would get to know that मैंने network marketing start किया है, so people would get surprised कि अरे मतलब I thought you were smarter than this. You know, why have you started this? So I realized people have different perceptions about this industry. And a lot of people don't have very positive perceptions about the industry. You know, and that is why is it that going to be a big challenge? Why is that the biggest challenge for everyone? Because शुरू में ना हम excited होके जब शुरू करते हैं business, and when someone close to us comes and tells us कि पागल हो गया, ये क्या start कर दिया, ये सब नहीं चलता है, बहुत धक्का लगता है. You know, और बहुत लोग उसी समय खत्म हो जाते हैं. You know, इतना बड़ा धक्का लगता है कि झेल नहीं पाते उस धक्के को. Now, this is something I've never understood. And I've seen a lot of people ना पिछले 12 साल में that I've been in the business. Start किया, dreams हैं, goals हैं, very excited. 5 लोगों से बात किया, 3 people close to them say कि मत करो यार, ये सब नहीं चलेगा. And people leave. And this is something I've not understood. कि how can someone else's opinion, you know, change your decision? So and by the way, why am I telling you this is because you will also go through that. As excited as you may be right now, or as confident, but when you speak to people, some of your close people might say, यार ये क्यों start कर दिया, ये सब चलता नहीं है. right? So there are different perceptions people carry about this industry. And by the way, abhi aap log aa gaye hain QNet mein, but I don't think any of you had great perception about network marketing a few years back, right? Anyone had very good opinion always कि बड़ा होके मैं network marketing करूंगा? नहीं. So we've all had our own. I told you my perception. मुझे लगता था कि मतलब network marketing मतलब साबुन, तेल, शैम्पू बेचना है लोगों को, घर में बहुत सारा स्टॉक करना है, ऐसा लगता था मुझे, right? Some people feel कि network marketing मतलब साइड में, it's not big, साइड में थोड़ा साइड इनकम, किटी पार्टीज के साथ कर लो नेटवर्क मार्केटिंग, हाउसवाइफ्स कैन डू नेटवर्क मार्केटिंग, किसी की जॉब चली गई उसके पास और कुछ नहीं करने के लिए दे शुड डू नेटवर्क मार्केटिंग, यू नो. सम पीपल से दैट हाँ पैसा तो बनता है नेटवर्क मार्केटिंग में, बट भरोसा नहीं है, कंपनी कभी भी बंद हो सकती है. सो इट्स अ गेट रिच क्विक स्कीम, जब तक चल रहा है चला लो, बट गारंटी नहीं है, राइट? सम पीपल से नेटवर्क मार्केटिंग मतलब स्कैम. You know, I've heard all these things from different people. Ponzi scheme hai, scam hai, right? And you will also hear. But when you hear this, just be conscious and ask yourself one thing. Who are these people who are telling you this, right? It could be anyone. It could be, so these are what people think about network marketing. Now, who are these people who say such things? It could be your mother-in-law, an MBA, your best friend, your spouse. Like in my case, it was my spouse, you know, Uncle Kanpur wale mama ji. So my wife said, yeah, are you crazy? And she was doing very well. She's an MBA from XLRI. She used to be the HR head for the sales and marketing functions of an FMCG company. And she was a little taken aback. She said, why are you doing this? Your career is going great. Why don't you just focus on your career? Why do you have to do this? Right? And I heard it from some friends also. But, you know, and when you hear it from people, just ask yourself, who is this person who's telling you, right? Is he a subject matter expert? Like anything pertaining to HR, if my wife had told me, I would have followed her blindly because she was a subject expert. She was a domain expert there. But did she really understand network marketing? No, that was outside her domain expertise. I had done more research. I understood the industry far better than her. Whatever she was telling me was based on opinion, right? So thankfully, उस रात को जब मैं research कर रहा था, उस समय भी I saw a lot of opinions, blogs saying ये सब scam होता है, नहीं चलता है, network marketing, you know. And that time also I remember, I said, let me look for expert opinion, because I've always believed that for something very important, always consult a subject matter expert, you know. For example, कल को आपकी अगर तबीयत बहुत खराब हो जाती है, पेट में खतरनाक दर्द हो रहा है, like unbearable, who will you go to for help? Will you go to your chartered accountant? No. But he's also educated. Why will you not go to him? Because he's not a subject matter expert. You will go to a doctor, and not just any doctor. You will go to a specialist. You will go to a gastro, right? Why? Because he's a subject matter expert. He knows exactly. He will diagnose the problem, give you the exact remedy that is appropriate for you, and usse aap theek hoge, right? So, like I said, when I was reading those blogs and different opinions, I said, let me look for expert opinion. What do the smartest people on the planet have to say about this industry? So I started thankfully looking for that data, you know. And when I say smartest people on the planet or subject matter experts, I said, let me look for what the most successful entrepreneurs have to say about this industry, what political leaders have to say about this industry, what management gurus have to say about this industry. You know, so I started looking for that. And let me share with you my findings. None of you are sleepy, na? Are you guys awake? Chalo, theek hai. So far, so good. So, expert opinion. Warren Buffett. Do you guys know, all of you know Warren Buffett, right? So those of you who don't, let me tell you a little about him. He is the most successful investor known to mankind, most successful on Wall Street, right? He's been an entrepreneur from a very early age. He's done different businesses, and then he started investing on the stock market. And he has made money year after year, decade after decade. Now, some of you might say, इसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है? हमने भी पैसा कमाया स्टॉक मार्केट में, कमाया होगा. जब बुल रन होता है ना, सब लोग कमाते हैं. जब बेयर रन होता है, सब लोग उड़ा देते हैं. You get lucky, you get unlucky. But someone who has consistently made money decade after decade after decade, it's not luck, right? He is called the Oracle of Omaha. Not because he's a psychic or anything, but so acute is his understanding of different businesses, business environment, business models, that it is said that he has the ability to foresee the future. He can make out कौन सी technology आगे जाके बड़ी होगी, कौन सा industry आगे बढ़ेगा, कौन सी skill set का demand होगा, क्या होगा. And basis his understanding, he bets on companies and industries, right? And he's not into margin trading. आज खरीदा कल बेचा. He does not do that. He sticks with whatever he's bet on. And most of the times he's been right. Right? So now someone like him, can we safely consider him to be an expert on business models? I think we can, right? So he owns 3 network marketing companies, and he's gone on record to say the best investment I ever made, right? By the way, there's something else he's said about our industry. He said, if you thought franchising was big, or the other, sometime back we discussed how big franchising has become. So if you thought franchising was big, you haven't seen anything yet. And this is in reference to network marketing. So coming from Warren Buffett, does it give you a lot more confidence of where we are headed? What does he think where we will be in the future, right? Bill Gates, political leaders, Bill Clinton, your Donald Trump. Now let's not, Donald Trump, don't judge him as the ex-US president. Not a great stint, but purely as an entrepreneur. He's been immensely successful. He's a billionaire twice over. Became a billionaire, lost all his wealth, became a billionaire again, right? He's shrewd when it comes to businesses. So he, before he became the US president, he was he was invited for a very famous talk show called the David Letterman Show, right? And in that talk show, David Letterman asked him a question. He says, Mr. Trump, if you were to lose all your money again, what would you do? And he says, David, I'll just identify a good network marketing company, get straight to work and earn millions. And you know that the crowd that was there, the Janta audience they started booing him, right? And he looked at them and he said, that's why you guys are sitting down there and I'm sitting up here. So those are his views, right? Bob Proctor, so management gurus. So I realized that anyone who's really, really successful in life, as an entrepreneur, as a political leader, as a management guru, they all had very good things. कुछ लोगों का तो कुछ comment ही नहीं मिला, absent, no comment on network marketing. But wherever I could find, it was all very positive, right? So honestly, I was a little surprised. I said, on one hand, you have the average person next door saying, ये सब चलता नहीं है, या ये scam है. And on the other hand, you have the smartest people on the planet saying, great businesses, this is the future, right? Some disconnect, right? So there's no smoke without fire. अब ये fire है, ये smoke है, तो कुछ तो कहीं से तो आया है ना fire. So I said, let me figure out ये perception जो dilute हुआ है, खराब हुआ है, कैसे हुआ है? What are the reasons for it? Why the average person next door is not really enthused about this industry. So I started doing my research on that. Now let me share with you my findings. Some 3-4 important reasons. Just a moment. Is screen दिख रहा है? Okay. So let's just discuss some of the important reasons. So more India specific reason first. Lack of regulation. So this industry has become so big. But do you know that we still don't have a regulatory body for this industry in India yet? Right? Now, what are the consequences of that? Not having a regulator. Or rather, can anyone tell me what is the role of a regulator? क्यों चाहिए एक regulatory body किसी भी industry के लिए?
Actually, that
Rules
body,
and
Okay, so Prasun, please go ahead. Are you okay? Someone needs to go on mute. Okay. Yes, Anit, you want to answer?
Yes, bhai. Why regulatory body is necessary to create the do's don'ts and to eliminate the unfair trade practices and to if necessary to punish the wrongdoers and get back the standardization of the industry.
Absolutely. So unka objective hai to strengthen an industry, bring it credibility, help the industry grow by doing all that you mentioned, to ensure that there's fair play, there is no foul, there's, everyone follows processes, procedures, no one takes advantage of the other. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm an ex-banker, right? A banking industry ka regulator kaun hai? RBI. What is the role of RBI? The role of RBI is to ensure that that the banking industry in India, right, is robust. The people's belief and confidence in the industry is maintained. They don't take anyone for a ride. No one takes advantages of the banking system. And as a result, it keeps growing, right? And to facilitate this, they have to regulate it very tightly. Right? For example, कल को मेरे पास मान लेते हैं बहुत पैसा हो जाता है, and I want to open up my own bank. Can I randomly open Manish Kumar Bank? No, I have to approach the RBI and say, sir, I would like to apply for a license. Assuming they are okay with issuing fresh licenses, they will ask me for 10,020 documents. They will study my entire history. बाप दादा परदादा अभी क्या किया है, क्या नहीं किया है, कुछ लीगल केस तो नहीं है, कितना एसेट्स है, किस किस ये में है, मेरा पूरा they will चिट्ठा. And assuming they are okay with it, right? They will call me and say, okay, we are happy to grant you license. You can start with 5 branches. अब ऐसा नहीं कि I can do whatever I want. Along with the license, they'll give me a list of again 10,020 guidelines that I have to adhere to. I can't get into this product. इस प्रोडक्ट के लिए मेरा लोन टू वैल्यू रेशियो इतना नहीं हो सकता, इससे ज्यादा नहीं हो सकता है. आई कांट लेंड टू दिस सेगमेंट, आई कांट डू दिस, आई कांट, मतलब बहुत सारे गाइडलाइंस होंगे. एंड अगेन ऐसा नहीं कि वो गाइडलाइंस पकड़ा के सो जाएंगे. They will conduct periodic audits. They can land up at my headquarters any moment and ask me for documents to substantiate that I'm adhering to the guidelines. And God forbid if they find a non-compliance. Now, depending on the nature of the non-compliance, छोटा मोटा है, warning देके छोड़ देंगे. थोड़ा और सिवियर है, फाइन. अगर कोई बहुत सीरियस नॉन कंप्लायंस मिल गया, my license will be revoked. Right? This is how tightly they regulate the sector. Now, why is it important? Because आपका पैसा है बैंक के पास, राइट? आप में से किसी को ऐसा है रात को नींद नहीं आती कि यार मेरा सेविंग्स अकाउंट या एफडी में जो पैसा है, कल को बैंक डूब गया तो क्या होगा? ऐसे ख्याल आते हैं? नहीं. क्यों? क्योंकि आरबीआई, उनका काम है टू इंश्योर कि आपका पैसा सुरक्षित रहे, दैट नो बैंक डिफॉल्ट्स, नो बैंक गोज डाउन, राइट? सिमिलरली इंश्योरेंस. अब हु इज द रेगुलेटर? IRDA. All of you are paying some premium or the other ना इतने सालों से. कभी ऐसा लगता है रात को नींद नहीं आती कि यार इतना पैसा प्रीमियम में दे दिया है, भाग गई कंपनी तो, मैक्स लाइफ भाग गया तो? नहीं आता है ना. क्यों? क्योंकि IRDA का काम है. They are the regulator. Their job is to ensure that your money is safe, and whatever the insurance company has committed to you, they will hold them to it and ensure that you get your money, right? But for that they have to regulate it very tightly. So you understood the concept of a regulator and the need for a regulator. Now let's come back to what we were discussing. Network marketing India में इतना बड़ा हो गया है, we still don't have a regulatory body. Now इसके consequences क्या हैं? A lot of loopholes are there which have been taken advantage of. People have come, seen an opportunity, formed a company, collected money from people and disappeared overnight. Starting with the plantation scams in Kerala to the your Speak Asias of the world, your social trade, your बहुत सारे scams हुए under the guise of network marketing. And there was no regulatory body, right? ऐसा नहीं कि regulatory body होने के बाद कोई scam ही नहीं होता, फिर भी हो सकते हैं, but इक्के दुक्के होते हैं. But since there was no regulator, there's a gap. So as a result, what has happened is that everyone here knows at least one person who has lost money in a scam, right? So let's take an example. Kalpesh, have you heard of Speak Asia?
Sorry, not earlier actually. But after coming into the business or meeting with the people, I do research something like that only.
Okay, so Speak Asia started about 12-13 years. When I started QNet, तो Speak Asia भी आया था, 1.5 साल में बंद हो गया, scam था, right? Now मान लिया कल्पेश, you had put 5 lakh rupees in Speak Asia 12 साल पहले, और वो 2-3 महीने में बंद हो गई कंपनी. You lost all your money, they ran away, right? Now if Anubhav is a friend of yours, right, and Anubhav पूछता है कि भाई कल्पेश, what are your views on Speak Asia? क्या बताओगे अनुभव को?
अरे अनुभव यार, छोड़ो ये स्पीक एशिया वगैरह, ये तो पैसे लेके भाग गए थे मेरे, तुम्हारे भी डूब जाएंगे.
हाँ, वो बस पूछ रहा है कि भाई नेटवर्क मार्केटिंग, जिससे यार नेटवर्क मार्केटिंग ये सब स्कैम होता है, मेरा 5 लाख डूब गया, मत पड़ो ये सब चक्कर में, राइट? दिस इज व्हाट अनुभव बिलीव्स. नाउ लेट्स से गर्विता इज अनुभव्स फ्रेंड, एंड गर्विता आस्क्स कि भाई अनुभव, एक बात बता, नेटवर्क मार्केटिंग कैसा बिजनेस होता है? अनुभव, व्हाट विल यू टेल गर्विता?
आई विल टेल यार, मेरा एक दोस्त बता रहा था कि ऐसा ऐसा हुआ उसके साथ, एंड पैसे वैसे डूब जाते हैं, तो मेरे को तो यार समझ नहीं आया, मेरे को तो बेकार.
हाँ, यूल से भाई दूर रहना, ये सब मेरे एक दोस्त का 5 लाख डूब गया, ये सब चलता नहीं, ये सब स्कैम होता है, राइट? गर्विता will tell the same to Rohit, who will tell the same to Sangeeta, who will tell the same to Manpreet, who will tell the same. Are you getting? एक बोलते हैं ना, one rotten apple spoils the whole basket. And here there have been so many rotten apples. क्यों? क्योंकि regulatory body रहा नहीं है, तो कोई भी आके खुलेआम स्कैम वैम करके भाग गया, right? So as a result, everyone knows one person at least who lost money. So you will hear, नहीं यार मेरे ये सब स्कैम होता है, अरे मेरे कानपुर वाले मामा जी का नहीं चला था, इसका नहीं, ये नहीं चला, उसका पैसा डूब गया, right? So that's second reason, important reason is, which we had already discussed. One challenge with this industry is it's a low control model. So मैंने बताया ना, if I am the company, I appoint Jairam, who appoints Shubham, who appoints Sangeeta, करते करते लास्ट में कोई Mr. X आ गया, he takes everyone for a ride. वो अपना शॉर्टकट, उसको तो गलत कमिटमेंट देके उसको तो अपना पैसा कमाना है, पैसा कमा के गायब हो गया. Now the company ends up getting a bad name, right? People think that the company is propagating such practices, which is not true, right? So वो dilution हो जाता है. With levels, dilution happens, which is why there's a strong need for very strong trainings and everyone speaks the same language. So to avoid that dilution. So perception is not very positive because people have had negative customer experience on account of, dilution. Another two important reasons. एक reason है, see, जब network marketing, a lot of network marketing companies were coming to India in the late 90s, early 2000s. बहुत aggressively आए, and they had big plans and all that. But they failed in doing something which was very, very important to ensure long-term sustainability of a business, right? They failed in creating a strong support system. Now, what is a support system? So let me take an example. Okay. Sangeeta, what do you do?
I've been a teacher, facilitator.
Oh, very good. So you're a teacher, facilitator. Now you've come into network marketing, right? Which is very different. And let's say you start, and when you start, you realize कि यहाँ कोई support system नहीं है. And by support system, I mean कोई बताने वाला नहीं कि आगे क्या करना है, कोई training नहीं है, कोई handhold करने वाला नहीं है. What are your chances of success?
Very low.
Almost negligible, right?
Maybe I'll just run out of it. And
correct. You will. You'll get frustrated eventually, and you will. So a lot of people, I realized, have got frustrated because companies to आई, they sold them the plan, दिखाया, dreams भी दिए, but did not create that support system to help the person grow, mentally, skill set wise, emotionally, and hence most people hit and trials सीखने की कोशिश की, failed, and then have negative perception about the industry. They believe that this does not work. 1.5 साल पहले I was showing a plan to this lady. She sat through it and she said, look, this is not going to work for me. So I said, why do you say that? She said, because it has not worked for me in the past. So I said, oh, you've been part of some network marketing company. She said, yeah, I have. She named a company that she had been a part of. So I said, sounds like a genuine company to me. Did you actually put in effort? She says, you have no clue. I spent 3 years. I said, 3 years is fine, but did you meet a lot of people? She said, you have no clue how many people I met. I said, it still didn't work despite your efforts. She said, yeah. So I was a little surprised, because my experience has been quite on the contrary. So I finally asked, I said, ma'am, tell me something. How many books did you read? And she seemed a little surprised. She said, why do I need to read books? I said, okay. How many trainings did you attend? She said, no one told me anything about trainings. So finally I asked her, I said, the person who referred you, your upline, how much time did you spend with that person to try and understand how to go about things, how to improve? She said, no, the person who signed me up, after signing me up, he spent 2 hours with me. He explained, how should I present to people? What should I say? What should I not say? And she said, I just did that for 3 years. And I was shocked. That poor lady had spent 3 years of her life trying to do something which was impossible. Absolutely no support. And she had tried to figure out on it. She sustained 3 years. That itself was commendable. But now she genuinely believes that this model doesn't work because it didn't work for her. And I realized this is exactly what has happened. A lot of people genuinely believe because they've done it or they know someone who's done it, but without a support system, right? And it has not worked. Right? Another reason. A fact of life. Anything that is very easy to get into is very easy to get out of. Anything that's very difficult to get into is very difficult to get out of also, no? Bolte na, if the entry barrier to something is low, exit barrier is also low. If entry barrier is high, exit barrier is also high. I'll give you an example. So let's say, Ritika, what do you do?
I'm working with Adidas.
Okay, so you're with Adidas. Now you say कि चलो यार बहुत हो गया, Adidas. अब मुझे अपना कुछ, let's say restaurant खोलना, right? I want to open up a fine dine restaurant, and you make your plans and you realize you need 2 crores for your restaurant. Now you take a loan from a bank and you borrow money from people, from your friends and family, and कुछ मम्मी के गहने वहने भी वो गिरवी रख के, got money. So now you got the funds and you've started your restaurant. Let's say 1 महीना नहीं चला restaurant. Will you shut it?
No,
Why not?
because there's still, it does not has to run immediately. That was the whole perception of starting only, that it might not run immediately.
So the reason you will not forget shutting it, you will not even think of shutting it, is because there's too much at stake.
Yeah.
Right? Abhi bank ka phone aane wala hai, ma'am, EMI. Friends and family who loaned you money will start asking, yaar, kab mil raha hai wapas? So there is too much at stake. You will get into overdrive. You will sleep less, you will get up early, you will sleep late, you will try and figure out, you'll keep racking your brains. Kya karna chahiye? You will hire a consultant, you will fire the chef, you will change the menu, you will take the marketing collateral, khud jaake loge darwaze ke niche, taki koi pad ke koi to aaye. Because there's so much at stake. Right? You can't give up that easily. You don't have the option. Now let's come to network marketing. And let's put QNet aside for a bit because यहाँ थोड़ा startup cost respectable है. Most network marketing companies 5,000-10,000 रुपए में start हो जाता है. So let's say Ritika, you joined some network marketing company, 5,000 रुपए में start हो गया, right? 5,000 का product भी मिल गया, mentally break even हो चुका है. Now you speak to 5 of your friends. 3 मजाक उड़ाती हैं, हाँ किस चीज में फंस गई. 4th one बैठ के समझाती है, रितिका ये सब मत करो, ये सब नहीं चलता है, फालतू में ये होगा. एंड 5वां फोन ही उठाना बंद कर देती है. Now tell me realistically, what are the chances you'll speak to the 6th person?
Very less.
Very less. You will give up. Why? Because there is nothing at stake.
Yeah.
Right? And after that, let's say you and I are friends and I ask you, Ritika, what are your views on network marketing? What are you likely to tell me?
Did not quite, did not work for me.
You will not say I hardly tried. You will say, अरे मैंने करके देख लिया, नहीं चलता है सब. I will genuinely end up believing कि ये नहीं चलता है. I'll tell 10 other people कि नहीं चलता है. Who in turn will tell 10 other people नहीं चलता है. Right? Because अभी QNET में फिर भी I said keep it aside because startup cost is a little more respectable, which is why all of you are sitting at this time. What's the time? 11:37 पे आप लोग बैठ के सुन रहे हैं मेरी बात. You know, अगर 5-10 हजार से स्टार्ट किया होता ना अभी तक वीडियो लॉग ऑफ चलो बाद में देखेंगे खत्म.
Right.
So this is entry barrier. Anything that is easy to get into is very easy to get out of. Anything that's difficult to get into is difficult to get out of, right? And a lot of people who got in easy, 5,000-10,000 में शुरू किया, just did it half-heartedly, and they give a bad name to the industry. Tell people कि नहीं चलता है सब. So are you guys getting an idea of why the perception? What are the reasons why the perception is not very positive, right? On one hand, you have the smartest people on the planet saying great business. It is the future. Makes sense, right? On the other hand, you have someone saying यार मेरे मामा जी का नहीं चला था, मेरा इसका नहीं चला था, ये सब scam होता है, right? खुद एक बार समझ में है ना reasons why, then it doesn't bother you. You understand कि हाँ ठीक है यार, ये इसका perception है and it could be because of these reasons. Are you guys with me so far? Okay, great. Let's move ahead. Now, some common myths about the industry, right? So some people say this is a pyramid scheme. Only people at the top make money, right? Now, first of all, it is not a scheme. What's a scheme? पैसा दिया और तुम और पैसा दो और इधर लाओ. That's a scheme. Chit funds. These are schemes. This is a distribution model, right? If money is flowing in one direction, there's a product flowing in the opposite direction. There's value being created. So it's not a scheme. It's a distribution model. And is it the shape of a pyramid? Of course it is. And I don't know where this word pyramid has got a negative connotation. But the fact of life is that a pyramid is the most stable structure known to mankind. Every stable model is a pyramid. You know, like for example, does this model seem familiar to you guys? This is where you work. It's a pyramid. Your CEO, senior VPs, that's how it is. Or the government of India, defense ministry. Every stable model is a pyramid, right? Just a moment. Some people say, and this ye jo hai, only people at the top make money. Nothing could be further from the truth than this. In fact, this is one model where you earn entirely on your efforts. The harder you work, the more money you make. Today you've come on board. So your uplines or your uplines are likely to be making more money than you. Why? Because they've been putting in effort from pehle. They've built a distribution. So today they're likely to be earning more than you. But if you work harder than them, you can overtake their income, right? So this is one business where the harder you work, the more money you make. Some people say, oh, great, but it will saturate someday. You know? Guys, saturation is a myth. It will never saturate. Till the time people keep turning 21 years every year, it will not saturate. Yes, the growth rate will not be the same, right? No industry, no company can have a double-digit growth rate for infinite period of time. At some point, it will start mirroring the GDP, right? But that's something our grandkids need to worry about. And this, some people say, great, but success rate is very low. Now, with this, I completely agree. Yes, success rate is very low, right? But then if you look at it, to achieve anything worthwhile in life, success rate will always be low, right? For example, how many of you took the joint entrance exam to get into the IITs? What was the success rate? 1%? Anubhav, you are from IIT, no?
Yes, Manish.
Okay, kya tha success rate?
Less than 1%.
Less than 1%. Some of you took the joint entrance exam, the common admission test to get into the IIMs. Kya tha success rate? Less than 1%, right? Any chartered accountants here? Okay. Vidyasagar ji, how are you? So what is the success rate there?
It used to be 2%. Now we're told it's about 4%.
2%. So by this logic, ideally parents should be telling their children, beta, forget about IIT, 1% chance hai tumhara. IIM to bhul hi jao, less than 1%. Chartered accountant, nahi. Right? See, a fact of life is anything worthwhile, success rate will be low. Do you know why? While everyone wants it, but very few people are willing to pay the price for it, to achieve it. जैसे चलिए, IIT and IIM, I can still imagine there are limited seats, only a limited number of people can go in. But that's not true with chartered accountant. I mean, more people can compete. You know, they have to clear, more people can clear. So why is it that 2% clear and 98% don't? Right? So, Vidyasagar ji, what is the difference between you and the other 98 people who also wanted to be chartered accountants? How is it that you cleared and those guys didn't? What difference raha hoga?
The guys had to do, but I had put a lot of efforts.
So, I'll tell you, the difference was, I'll tell you, 3-4 differences. The biggest difference was, he took a decision. मुझे बनना है chartered accountant. I will do whatever it takes. And the decision is unconditional. No? मतलब, I will do whatever it takes to become. 98 other people said, हाँ, हमें भी बनना है. चलो, try करके देखते हैं. Right? उसके बाद, जब आप prepare कर रहे थे, विद्यासागर जी, for the chartered accountancy, I'm sure distractions तो आते होंगे ना बीच बीच में. इंडिया पाकिस्तान मैच होता होगा, you know, किसी की शादी हो रही है, कुछ relatives आ गए. Did you have time to get distracted? नहीं, because objective बड़ा clear है. You would probably score आप check कर लेते होगे at best, you know, but बाकी जो 98 थे, उनको भी बनना है chartered accountant, but मैच भी देखना है, शादी भी attend करनी, ये भी करना है, right? So this is exactly what happens even here. Why is it that only a few percentage, a small percent, become successful? And don't get me wrong, maybe all of you make money, but my definition of success is becoming financially independent through this business, creating a system which will work for you or not. This will happen for a very small percentage of people, right? So यहाँ भी लोग आते हैं, सब लोग, I think all of us have come with the same objective. But धीरे धीरे other priorities keep changing, you know. कोई बोलता नहीं यार, मैं 10 दिन थोड़ा, I want to go easy. I can't come for association. Can't come for this training. Maybe activities nahi karunga. This is important. Maybe 3 months I want off. No? So people at different stages use it. But there are some people who take a decision, wo lage rehte hain. Follow every process, speak to the upline, attend every training, keep doing activities, and they're the ones who go on and become successful, become financially independent through this business. Right? So yes, success rate is very low. No two ways about that. Just a moment. Why is network marketing such a powerful model? Okay, how many of you believe it's a very, very powerful model? Anyone? So some of you believe, some of you don't. Okay, so I'll tell you, I shared some statistics with you, how big it is today, highest percentage of new millionaires and all that. Let me share with you an instance. This is about 10 years back. You know, I was relatively new, 11 years back maybe. And I was reading an article of Business Today. And that edition, the cover story was the highest paid CEOs in India. And they were ranked and their salaries were mentioned. And I'm talking about professional CEOs. Huh? If I own the same company, it's my company, I can appoint myself as a CEO and pay myself whatever salary. That's not my market value, right? So a professional who's hired to run a company as a CEO. So back then, there were two people neck to neck for the highest paid CEO's job. Mr. Ramudarai of TCS and Mr. Deveshwar of ITC, right? And when I read their salary, I had a strange realization. I realized that my upline, my partner Sachin Gupta, makes more money than them. And why was it surprising? Because Sachin had been in the business for only 5 years, right? And these people had been working their entire lives and reached a certain level. And I said, how is it even possible, first of all? Is it because Sachin is smarter than them? And I said, maybe not, because while Sachin is brilliant, but Mr. Deveshwar, Mr. Ramudarai must have been exceptionally bright, right? They must have been the best students in their school, probably the best, toppers in their B schools, best performing management trainees in their respective batches, A raters throughout their career, overachievers at every step, right? So they must be brilliant. So then I realized it's not about individual brilliance. Yeah, it's because of the business model. It's the model that makes network marketing. So what is it about network marketing that makes it such a powerful model? Anyone? Can anyone tell me in one word?
Leverage.
Leverage. Right? And this is what had hit me when I saw ESBI, the word leverage. You understand the word leverage, right? Physics में आपने पढ़ा होगा ना class 8 या 9 में, I don't remember. It comes from the French word lever, which means to make lighter, right? You remember कुछ experiment होता था, X effort डाल रहे हो, Y result आ रहा है, and then you create some leverage, some pulley, something, which changes the equation. You know, with the same effort, you can get multiple exponentially high results. X can give you 5y, 10y, 15y, depending on what leverage you're using, right? So anyone who has made a lot of money, created wealth, abundance, has leveraged something or the other. Now, there are two things you can leverage in order to make money. One is you can leverage money to make money. Second, you leverage time to make money. Now, money to make money is simple. You know, if I already had 1,000 crores to start with, 100 crores to start with, उस 100 को 500 करोड़ बनाना ज्यादा मुश्किल नहीं है. You would have heard, right? Earning your first million is the toughest. Multiplying it is not. Do you know why? Because the system is designed by the rich to favor the rich. As simple as that. So if you already have money, multiplying it is the 1000 तरीके हैं to multiply it. But to leverage money to make more money, you need to have money in the first place, right? So either you need to be born rich or you marry rich. अब मेरे ये दोनों options खत्म हो चुके थे, right? So now the other thing one can leverage in order to make money is time, right? Now time में, let me give you an example. Suppose कल को मेरे पास एक खतरनाक business idea आता है, right? कुछ idea आ गया, and I know अकेले नहीं होने वाला है. I get a lot of people with different skill sets together. I sell the idea to them and I say, let's work, do this for so much time, and at the end of this period, I will give you this much money. And let's say people buy into it and they start, we all work together, and by the end of it, जब हम complete कर लेते हैं, जब output मिल जाता है, and after I promised them whatever, paying them whatever I promised them, I'm still left with a substantial lot because I factored in an arbitrage of everyone's time and accordingly made the promise. So this is called leveraging other people's time, right? So I've leveraged a lot of people's time and hence I've made a lot of money. But this was a hypothetical situation that I told you, because for someone to come and work for me, they will not randomly just because I sell them an idea. I need to have some credibility, right? I need to have a brand name, company hona chahiye. I need to hire them, there's a hiring cost. I need to train them, there's a training cost. I have to keep paying them salaries, even if they're non-productive initially, right? All this requires money. So it goes back to money leverage. Right? Now, what makes network marketing such a powerful model is that here you can leverage a lot of time without really leveraging money, right? And I'm telling you, this is what I understood when I saw that. This is what sparked my interest, and I was like switched on after that, right? So 12 years back, I was sitting exactly where you're sitting. You know, I started the business and I started doing exactly the same things that you're doing today. Attending a training, you know, reading books, spending time with uplines, starting basic. And dhire, I kept going up the learning curve. You know, awareness aane lag gaya. I started developing new skill sets. Mindset change hone lag gaya. Spending a lot of time with my uplines, I started thinking like them. So I started going up the learning curve. And then I said, chalo, now let me do business development. So I spoke to a lot of people that I knew, friends, family, and some of them bought into my idea, right? And they signed up with me. Ab mera core team ban gaya. And now I started getting them to attend the same trainings that I had been attending, getting them to read the same books that I was reading, getting them to spend time with my uplines. So they also started going up the learning curve. And beyond a point of time, some of them became like me, some became better than me. Now, this is one business where you want people below you to become better than you, right? Good for you, right? So ab ye sab Mumbai mein ho raha tha. Then I said, let me now build Delhi, because I knew a lot of people in Delhi, right? So I spoke to all of them, told them I'm coming, lined them up, flew there, discussed business. A lot of them bought into my idea and partnered with me, right? Ab ye jo people who partnered with me became my responsibility. See, today we do everything virtually, right? All of you are from different cities, probably different countries attending this training. Back then, there's no concept of a video conference, right? Everything was physical. So once I signed up people in Delhi, I had to travel to Delhi every week. Go there, sit with them, train, mentor, groom, motivate, strategize. And with every successive week that I traveled, that team started becoming big, and some people became like me eventually, and some became better than me. Then I said, chalo, now let me look at Bangalore. So I traveled to Bangalore, got some good people on board, kept traveling there regularly. Bangalore mein capability bad gayi. Then I said, let's Dubai, international market. So I used to fly to Dubai every month. The Dubai team started growing. Abhi sab karte karte. Now today, let's say I have 2,000 active partners, people who are working actively with me across the globe, right? And everyone, let's say, argument's sake, puts in 2 hours a day into this business. How many hours do I have in a day? 4,000? अपने job में कितने घंटे होते थे मेरे पास एक दिन में? So there are 24 hours in a day, out of which Barclays would suck 12 hours out of that, right? So 12 hours basically. So I was being paid for 12 hours of effort back in the corporate world. Yes, the value of my time was high because of my MBA, because of my work X, because of all that, right? But at the end of the day, it would have been limited to 12 hours of effort, right? Today, I'm being paid for 4,000 hours of effort. So it's not a coincidence that the tax that I pay today is multiple times my last round CTC, because I'm leveraging the time for so many people. But it has not happened overnight, right? Understand that it started with, I think I was fortunate that I spent time with my uplines. I was able to see their vision. I said, this is doable. It's a great model. And I think I'm going to do this. I mean, I will do this, right? And thankfully, I had very realistic expectations. I knew it's not going to happen overnight. It's not a get rich quick scheme. A distribution needs to be built, a system needs to be created, and that is going to require a lot of time, effort. And I understood the first year, it was a lot of effort from my end, hardly any output, nothing much to show. I did make some money, but nothing significant. But I was aware. I said, first year, mein itna time jayega, learning, I'm going to keep getting better and better. Maybe there's nothing to show for it. And it didn't matter because I was still in my job. So I wasn't dependent financially on QNet. Second year, I had quit my job. Right? So second year was a little tough for me because, again, a lot of effort, better output, but again, nothing significant. It was still lower than my last round salary, right? Third year was good. A lot of effort, but again, good returns. My fourth year in QNet, I'll tell you, the income that I made in my fourth year, only in my fourth year, was more than my lifetime's cumulative salary, right? But most people don't survive the first year because the result nahi aata hai. When you're putting in effort and you don't see results, people give up. Ki chodo yaar, ye sab nahi chalega. वो instant gratification की आदत इतनी strong है कि वो delayed gratification समझ में नहीं आता, right? So basically, the kind of time that you can leverage through this, right? It'll take time creating that leverage. But once, like today, for example, let's say I decide to retire. I say, chalo, all of you, welcome to the business, but I am hanging up my boots. I'm relocating to the Bahamas or wherever. You think I'm going to stop making money? No, a system create ho gaya. And it's a fairly robust system. People below me are more capable than me. Whatever I do, suppose I stop doing it, someone else will come and do a far better job, right? It has taken time to get here, but system ban gaya. For all you know, even after I retire, my income will only grow, right? Now, this is what makes network marketing such a powerful model. Are you guys with me? Yeah. Thank you. Oh, it's almost 12. I'll take another 10-15 minutes. Anyone very, very sleepy? Sorry. So money leverage, time leverage. So I'll skip the non-important things. So see, I'm a banker and I like facts and figures, right? And when I was doing that research that night, I came across some figure which kind of just blew my mind. My eyes almost popped out when I saw that. So ये statistics था, ये 12 साल पुराना है डेटा. तो 12 साल पहले I was seeing this data on percentage penetration of network marketing or direct selling, as it's broadly called, in different geographies, different countries. So a country like a US or a Canada back then had a 5 to 6% penetration. Or in other words, मतलब 100 लोग अगर रह रहे हैं United States of America, उसमें 5 या 6 already engaged in direct selling, network marketing में in some form or the other, right? Then there were countries like Malaysia and Taiwan, where the percentage penetration was about 9 to 11%, highly penetrated markets, right? Guess what the percentage penetration for India was? Anyone wants to take a guess? Okay, it was 0.2%. And when I saw that, I told you, my eyes almost popped out. 0.2%. I was like, what? एक तो हमारे देश की आबादी, it's a strength, 135-140 करोड़ के बीच में है, and it's growing at a very fast pace. पिछले 1.5-2 घंटे से जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ काफी बढ़ गई होगी, right? So that's our strength actually. So one, our population, B, the fact that it's highly underpenetrated, and C, again, the fact that any business model that becomes successful in the West, it's a lag of a few decades. It's a matter of time. It becomes very big in India also. Look at it historically. Empirically, आप देखो ना कुछ भी, insurance, franchising, any model, start उधर हुआ, became successful there, and after a lag of a few decades became very big here also. So I said, ये तो future है, and especially for a population intensive economy like ours, I said, this is going to be very big. I am sitting on a gold mine. See, also, to make a lot of money in a very short span of time, you need to be at the right place at the right time. It's very important. You realize that? Like, for example, if any of you in the mid-90s had put 1 lakh rupees in Infosys or TCS or CTS shares, what do you think would have happened today? You would have retired. Your next generation would have been taken care of. Why? Because it was the high growth phase for the IT industry, right? आज अगर आप डालते हैं 1 लाख रुपया Infosys के shares में, क्या होगा? It'll still grow, but you will not become rich because of that, right? So important to be at the right place at the right time. So I realized I missed a lot of these booms in my life. IT, insurance, BPO. I said, ये नहीं miss करना है. I am there at the right place at the right time. राइट अब जो मैंने अभी तक बताया, ये सुन के आप में से कुछ लोग दुखी भी हो गए होंगे कि यार ये तो 12 साल पहले था अपॉर्चुनिटी, अब तो मिस हो गया. कितने लोगों को लग रहा है कि मिस हो गया अपॉर्चुनिटी? 0.2% उस समय था. Okay, do you know what the percentage penetration of network marketing in India today is? Anyone wants to take a guess? 0.7%. We haven't even scraped the surface yet. Okay, it's much more than 0.2%, but it's 0.7%. 1% bhi nahi hai abhi. Can you imagine how big the opportunities, and with people, the world, with the mindset shifting, people being open to a secondary source of income, wanting a secondary source of income. Can you imagine how big it is going to become? Right? So this is why I said, you guys are very lucky. You don't realize that. So you can give yourselves a pat on the back, right place at the right time. Now, some of you, once you signed up and then आपने Google किया and आपको बड़े अलग-अलग टाइप के न्यूज़ मिले, कुछ कंज्यूमर केस, ये लीगल इश्यूज, क्यूनेट. How many of you, तो एक धक्का लगा. It's called a Google attack. कि अरे ये क्या है? हुआ किसी के साथ? Okay, सबके साथ हुआ होगा. People are not owning up. But it's, see, there's no smoke without fire. Issues have been there, and it's important to understand the issues. There's, अगर मीडिया में कुछ है, क्यों है? Right? So let me tell you. अभी तो हम, things are very different. अभी तो हम बोल रहे हैं कि रेगुलेटरी बॉडी नहीं है, राइट? जब मैंने बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया था 2011 में, there was no law for network marketing in India. No law for it, no law against it. It was very ambiguous, right? What I was doing, I didn't know if it was legal. There was nothing which was saying it's illegal, so no law against it. So, but nothing to say it was legal also. And because of that ambiguity, बहुत issues होते थे. And 2014 and 15 were specifically bad years for this industry in India. Why? Because the media went on a witch hunt. They started calling us scam, not just us, other network marketing companies also. But yeah, we were growing at a very fast pace, so we came under the scanner more. And so there were a lot of legal cases. There was, so many news articles saying koi hota tha 1,000 crore scam, koi 4,000 crore scam. So not a very pleasant situation to be in. But thankfully, while all this was happening, a lot of change started happening. And it started with the KPMG FICCI report, right? KPMG and FICCI jointly came out with a report. It's a very comprehensive report, which I think all of you should read on this industry, which they presented to the government, right? And this report talks about the future of network marketing, the potential of network marketing in India, how it can reshape our economy, how it can address issues like unemployment. Why is it important for a country like India? And what all the government needs to do to protect and encourage this industry, right? Thankfully, the government was proactive in accepting and implementing the changes that have been mentioned. So they started. The first point they had raised was, they talked about how companies were getting harassed, network marketing companies. Because क्या होता था ना कि अब there is कोई presidency नहीं था उस समय, no law. So if tomorrow there's a consumer complaint, there was no grievance redressal mechanism. It couldn't go to the consumer court because back then we were not part of the consumer forum. If it goes to the court, again, no precedence, wo tarikh pe tarikh chalta rehta hai. If it goes to the cops, so it was chaotic. So they talked about it, and they said, first step, the government needs to come out with some guidelines, give it a legal standing, recognize the industry, right? So in 2016, the Consumer Affairs Ministry came out with guidelines for direct selling. Came out with a set of guidelines which says, if you're a network marketing company operating in India and you're adhering to these guidelines, then you're legal. So for the first time, legality was established. And once legality was established, we started winning all the court cases against us. So in March 2017, the Karnataka High Court quashed a case against us saying, as per the guidelines, we're a completely legal and ethical company, right? A few months after that, the Supreme Court of India put a stay order on all cases against us saying, as per the guidelines, it's completely legal, right? So today we are on a very different legal footing. So that was the first step. The second step in that FICCI KPMG report, they've requested the government to come out with a regulatory body for this industry because the scale has become so big. Now the government has been working on it. Unfortunately, the pandemic came and this took a backseat, but it's expected that by next year, because if the framework is ready, it just needs to be passed in Parliament. And hopefully either this year or by next year, we will have the regulatory body in place. Now, what do you think will happen once a regulator comes into play? The kind of credibility that this industry will get, right? It is expected to hit the tipping point. Exponential growth is supposed to happen. By the way, it's already growing at a very, very fast pace. And once the regulatory body comes in play, it's expected to hit the tipping point. So again, perfect time to get into the business. And the third step, by the way, given in this report, is they've requested the government, they said at some point, this industry is going to become so big that a nodal ministry will need to be appointed for this industry. In other words, you'll have a minister of state for direct selling, not too far in the future. So that's where we are headed, right? So when I was doing that research that night, the more I read, the more excited I got. I said, wow, makes sense. And by the end of it, I said, ab industry pe koi doubt nahi hai. Because I got all that, samajh mein aa gaya, logic, trends dekh liya, from something that was perceived to be a housewife's business. I realized people are quitting their successful corporate careers now to take this up. Ivy League institutes are offering courses in direct selling. So I said, this is the future. But the question that I had then was, yaar, ye to samajh mein aa gaya ki direct selling is the future, right? But just because someone has shown me a QNet ka plan today, does it mean I should join QNet? There could be better companies. So how do I decide which company to be a part of? So I started looking for that data. And again, let me share with you. I saw some expert opinion again. So this expert said कि when you are evaluating कौन सा network marketing company join करना है, you need to evaluate the company on 4 important parameters. सबसे पहला पैरामीटर क्या है? Tenure. कितने साल से चल रही है कंपनी? It's a very important parameter because see, while it's a very lucrative business, but it's not easy to run, right? It's got its set of complications, and very few people actually have the capability to run a network marketing company. Most people will shut shop in the first 5 years itself. नहीं चलता है. So that closure rate is very high in the first 5 years, failure rate. So if the company is less than 5 years, don't touch it. He said 5 to 10 years, safer yet avoidable. Because क्या होता है कि 5 साल तो आपने survive कर लिया. And कैसे survive किया? Maybe you restricted to yourself to one geography where you were connected and probably one product category. But कभी तो आपको diversify करना पड़ेगा geographically and product wise. And when you start diversifying, which starts in your typical 5 to 10 years, there people fail. So he said, even that is slightly risky, avoid it. He said 10 years plus, safe, right? उस समय QNET 12वें साल में था या 13वें साल में था. So I said, चलो tick mark on the 10-year front. Now don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting कि अगर 10 साल से ज़्यादा हो गई ये कंपनी तो कभी बंद नहीं हो सकती है. कोई भी कंपनी कभी भी बंद हो सकती है. If a Lehman Brothers can shut shop, if an Enron can shut shop, any company can shut shop, right? The point I'm making is that if a company has survived for 10 years, the 10 साल के बाद you can't question the fundamentals on which it is based. It is obviously based on sound fundamentals, right? Something else can go wrong in the future, right? So tenure. Second is product. So he specifically said कि product पे, again, specifically said कि does not mean it has to have the best products in the segment. He said it has to have a genuine product, period. Because the difference between a genuine network marketing company and a scam is that a genuine network marketing has a genuine product. जो Speak Asia की मैं जो बात कर रहा हूँ उसमें कोई product ही नहीं था. It was an eyewash. That's all your Ponzi schemes are an eyewash. Says the product has to be genuine. Now, do you guys think we have genuine products? Some of you think, some of you don't know because अभी तक product शायद use नहीं किया है. I think we have brilliant products. You know, like most of you bought a vacation. If you use your vacation smartly, it's an amazing product, right? I've got some, I don't think anyone has used QVI more than I have. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I keep holidaying all the time. Yes, I do holiday a lot, but I've used it for my business travel also, QVI. And I've got some amazing deals. Today we are running out of time. Maybe if we had time, I would have shared the kind of deals I've got. But you have to use it smartly, right? Now, see, people will come and say a lot of things about the product. ये बहुत महंगा है, ये. Now, we need to first believe in our own product. उसके लिए थोड़ा study करना जरूरी है. First, go through the product, understand it, do an apple-to-apple comparison with something in the market. Apple-to-apple comparison. You can't compare Kent with some 10,000 rupee water purifier that's there in the market now. Similar features, similar, standards. Compare. But सबसे ज्यादा conviction कहाँ आता है product को? जब आप खुद use करते हो. Right? Today I'm convinced about every product, almost every product, because I use it. I use almost every product. Huh? Holidays, of course. Watches, not Kairos. I don't like that too much, but Bernard H. Meyer, Simier, amazing watches. I use Edge, Cafe, right from the toner to the serum to the moisturizer to the hair oil. I use every product, and I'm a satisfied customer. और वो अंदर से आता है फिर conviction about my own product. I'll tell you, I'll recommend 2 products which I think all of you should use, which I use every day, right? Have you heard of a product called Cafe? How many of you want to lose a few kilos here and there? These days everyone wants to lose weight, right? Okay, great. तो हमारा एक product है Cafe, green coffee nutritious combination, right? कुछ नहीं करना है. रोज lunch के आधे घंटे पहले take half a sachet of cafe in a cup of boiling water. Have that coffee. And again, half an hour before dinner, again, another half sachet. right? This is for a moderate weight loss program. अगर aggressive weight loss program है तो 1 sachet half an hour before lunch, 1 sachet half an hour before dinner. Now understand, this is not a product कि आपने लेना start किया और 5 दिन में आप weighing scale पे खड़े होके you start questioning. No, it takes time, but it's completely natural, so it takes time. But you'll see, 6 महीने में you'll have testimonials to talk about it, and completely natural, like I said. So no side effects. Similarly, there's a product called Edge. Now, Edge is, see, wellness as a category in India is expected to grow at a very, very fast pace. Maybe a few decades back, people से बीमार पड़ते थे तो डॉक्टर और दवा पे पैसा खर्च करते थे. Proactively healthy रहने के लिए we didn't spend money, but that is changing, and especially after the pandemic, it's growing at a very fast pace, right? So Edge, I'll tell you briefly. I'll explain. See, most of our issues are on account of something called as free radicals that exist around our cells. I'm telling you in very layman language. Now we have something called as glutathione, which is manufactured naturally in our body. Essentially, the glutathione helps kill those free radicals and keeps us healthy, right? The only problem is that the body's ability to manufacture glutathione keeps going down as we age. Mid-20s में highest होता है, फिर धीरे-धीरे कम होने लग जाता है. Which is why age के साथ धीरे-धीरे immunity कम हो जाती है, energy levels कम हो जाते हैं. And by the way, you all should Google glutathione. Globally, it's a craze. People inject it. People do all sorts of things to look young, stay healthy. Now, हमारा जो ये product है, patented technology product, Edge, it has been proven that regular consumption of Edge helps the body manufacture glutathione naturally, right? कुछ नहीं, सुबह खाली पेट, take a sachet of Edge, mix it in a glass of water, have it empty stomach, and do this again every day. Again, 10 दिन के बाद don't start questioning. Do this for 6 months and then you'll see the change. You'll see immunity बढ़ने लग जाएगी, energy levels बढ़ेगा, your skin will become brighter, your hair fall will go down. So point I'm making is we have brilliant products, right? Sorry, I digress. Let me come back to those 4 important parameters. So second was product should be genuine. I think we have very genuine product. The third parameter was compensation plan. And he simply said compensation plan has to be attractive enough. I don't think we need to even discuss this. All of you agree we have a very attractive compensation plan? Chalo, great. Take mark on this front. Now, the fourth parameter, according to the expert, he said this is the most important parameter to ensure long-term sustainability of the business. So the fourth parameter was support system. कि आप QNet में तो आ गए, या जो भी network marketing company में आ तो गए, अब उसके बाद what is the system in place to help you learn, grow, learn the skill sets, help build your mindset, make you emotionally stronger as an entrepreneur, what is that system in place? अब ये चीज मुझे उस रात समझ में नहीं आया था, because I was still not part of QNet. I was still doing my research. Obviously, I didn't understand this too well. And I don't expect a lot of you to understand this tonight because you're fairly new in the system. But you will realize very soon that this is one area where we beat everyone hands down. No one comes anywhere close to us when it comes to support system. Some of you might have already got a flavor of it. You signed up, you went through a welcome session. कुछ तो click हुआ होगा welcome session में, कुछ तो समझ में आया होगा. Then you went through ERS. My upline took you through ERS. कुछ again समझ में आया होगा ERS में. आज आप industry के बारे में समझ, you're trying to understand what you do better. You're understanding क्या potential है, क्या future है, right? कल you will go through another training called ABPQ. Again, बहुत clarity मिलेगी. उसके बाद you will attend a 21-day induction program. 21 days, 3 hours every day. And in those 21 days, your perspective will change. You will acquire certain skill sets, which will help you to hit the ground running post completion of the induction program. And then every Sunday, there's a system that you will attend. A lot of learning will happen every system. Tuesday evening, there's a VSEL that you will attend. Every 3 months, we have something called as an Infinity Crash Course. Every 6 months, there's a VCon, conducted by the company, a V conference, 5-day conference, right? And apart from all this, all of you have a working upline who's there to help you at every step, handhold you, guide you, tell you what to do, what not to do, right? Now, this kind of a support system is unheard of in this industry, right? So, like I said, we beat everyone hands down in support system, and which is why it's not a coincidence that we are amongst the fastest growing network marketing companies on the planet. right? So I've come to the end of this, but I just want to leave you with a thought. How many of you believe in karma? What you sow is what you reap. I believe in karma. I believe in the circle of death, rebirth, and I think मैंने पिछले जन्म में कुछ तो अच्छे कर्म किए होंगे, that this business came to me in this life. And by the way, all of you, आपने भी कुछ तो अच्छे कर्म किए होंगे, that this business came to you. Unknowingly you took this up. Now what do I mean by unknowingly? Did you know everything about the industry? क्या potential है, क्या future? नहीं मालूम था ना. Someone randomly, some friend of yours said, you came and gut feel था at the end of the day, and you said चलो करते हैं. But आपको नहीं मालूम था इंडस्ट्री क्या है, क्या कहाँ जाने वाली है, इंडिया में क्या हो रहा है, नहीं मालूम था. So unknowingly you chose the right industry, right? And within the industry, unknowingly you chose the right company. QNet, yes, we've had our share of problems, but we are aggressive. If you want to grow fast, you will have issues, right? But we are amongst the fastest growing network marketing companies on the planet. So you chose the right company within the industry, right? And within QNet, you chose the right organization unknowingly. Do you know there are different organizations within QNet? We are all a part of Team Infinity. By the way, Team Infinity is by far the fastest growing organization within QNet. क्यों? क्योंकि हमारा DNA ही अलग है. Our founder, someone goes by the name of V partner Dev Advani, right? He's an Ivy League grad, MBA from an Ivy League institute, was a consultant with McKinsey globally, finished his CFA level 3, became an investment banker. Then he was running a hedge fund in Hong Kong. So someone who comes with that background was already a dollar millionaire running a hedge fund, below the age of 30, before the age of 30, right? And I was very fortunate to work closely with him in my early days in the business. And he's always told me, he says, if you want to construct a skyscraper, your foundation has to be rock solid. And he's always taught, focus on the foundation, and foundation means the right ethics, values, processes. And VP Sachin, again, master at values, ethics, processes. So we are part of an organization which has a very different DNA. And thanks to them, we are the fastest growing organization within QNet. But ये सब आपको मालूम नहीं था. Randomly, it's like throwing a dart and you hit the bullseye. In the dark, you've just thrown a dart and it has right organization, right industry, right company, right organization, right? Coincidence? कुछ तो अच्छे कर्म किए होंगे आपने. Right? But that has brought you here. But where will you be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? That will depend on your karma now. How seriously you take this up. How diligently you follow the processes. How connected are you with your uplines? How regular are you? How much time are you giving to it? That will decide where you will be 5 years from now. Right? So thank you so much, guys. And I did not see anyone sleep tonight. So thank you for not sleeping and bearing with me. And I hope some of you are a little more confident about this decision of having started this venture. We will interact at different forums and with every interaction, with every training that you attend, your conviction, your belief will keep getting stronger and stronger. Right? So wish you all the best and I'll see you soon. Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Manish.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.